back even further. Blackburn, Newcastle weren't even.
Dude, what's going on? Are we already live? I think we're already live. I don't know what happened. I literally pressed the countdown. Look, I put the intro and the countdown didn't fix it. Guys, I'm not joking when I say this. Mikes. I'm not kidding when I say this. This happens every single time I'm doing. For some reason, True Ballers FC, because this doesn't happen because I use Talk Studio for every other thing, and the countdown works. But then for some reason, it's like I'm sure it's because Mike's is here. It's like, you know what, Mike's, I'm gonna give you a lot of like production or stuff like that. But listen, guys, improvised, but welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to Omar BYT, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to whatever this is. This is an absolute joke. Oh my days. But yeah, man. Anyways, guys, welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to Omar BYT, and welcome to another episode of True Ballers FC. I don't know why every time I'm turning up for the show, every single time I turn up the show, something crazy has to happen. And I'm sure my guy, I'm sure Mike's will probably clip this like he clipped the last week's one. So
Yep.
Yeah, man, listen, he's in a good mood, man. He's probably gonna do something shitty like that. I know in him. But big up to every single one of you guys watching. We do have a very good panel today. First of all, obviously, you guys know the regular. Mike's in the building. He's in a good mood. He's even got the shades on. Like, the mood he's in today. Like, bro, he's in the mood today. You can just tell, bro.
Yeah.
He's just like, yo, I'm gonna cook like that. Wearing those glasses is just like the glasses is just telling me everything I need to know about this show today, man. But big up to you, Mike.
No, I appreciate you having me on as always. Love the show. This is the stomp on your grave type glasses. This is every time I get these shades out, I'm always stomping on graves, whether it's Lopetegui or Arsenal. It doesn't matter, man. I always get these shades out for the right occasions. You're lucky I didn't go full FM, put the suit out again. So this is a great week. It's going to be a great week for me. Every bloody show that I go on, man, it's going to be just pure smiles from me. You want positive mics? Mics is here, bruv. It's here, but thank you for having me.
Yeah.
The chat, bruv.
Yeah. You're here today, man, and you're listen. I'll say this: after this season you've had, I guess you do deserve this because this is the first time you probably have like 2 weeks where you're just in a good mood, like right. But your good mood has come in the expense of Alfie's mood because I'm sure he's gonna have a lot to say about his club. But big up to Alfie, man. Finally back after a few weeks of hiatus.
Yeah, I've had a lot going on in the past few weeks, but thanks again for having me on, Omar. Always happy to be here. Even if we are going to be taking the mick out of my club, just going to have to sit back and enjoy the show.
Yeah, I can imagine. But I'm sure Prime. I don't know what's going on with Prime. His face is not on screen. Hopefully, but big up to Prime if he can talk. But listen, he'll be joining us very very soon. But listen, make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, guys, and big ups to all the people in the chat. Big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to Creamer here. Listen, I saw you yesterday on Mike's channel. You were, I think, was it on Mike's channel or was it on Northside's channel?
No,
Yeah, you were there. I'm sure you were in Northside's channel doing your thing in there, man. Listen, it says big up Omar BYT. I told everyone in Rashid's chat that Arsenal would suffer a red card and the rest, and that West Ham were going to be ugly again to play against. Hey, listen, man. Completely hear it, man. Completely hear it. And listen, we're gonna get into it because back-to-back seasons at Emirates and West Ham have left with all 3 points. Not only have you guys left with 3 points, you've left with 3 points and a clean sheet, bro. Like seriously, Alfred, bro. Listen, I'll say what I have to say, but let me read these chats first. Big up to everyone who's watching. This guy, Prime, think and hook. This guy telling me this thing and hook, this absolute fraud. Hey, big up to my guy Kashpa every time, man. Always showing love. Big up to you every single time, brother. I hope you're doing good today, man. Listen, man, we got the W this weekend, so we're good, man. We're not one of the people getting flamed, man. And listen, there's a lot of things that are getting flamed this today, man. Because even though Prime is sure he's gonna be shameless and do the Arsenal thing, his team is not gonna get away with it today. Absolutely not. Well, big ups to 4K.
Why
Big
would
up
my
to
team
AK.
get away with it?
Yeah, we listen. Wait till we get to the Chelsea section. Just be patient.
Well, why would my
Big
team
up.
get away with it? What do you mean?
No, just let me finish the chat. This guy,
Omar's being weird again, man.
I'm not being weird, man.
You
Absolute
are.
fraud.
You said my team's gonna get
Big
away
up
with
to
it.
AK.
Yes. Why would
Big
my
up
team
to
get away
AK.
with it? It's weird.
Yeah, whatever, man. Big up to AK. AK says congratulations to Liverpool for winning their 20 league title. I mean, listen, man, it's looking that way, honestly. But big up to start making sense, my brother. What's going on, man? What's going on? But big ups to you, man. Big ups to you too, man. He says only 2 3-point collectors in the yeah, exactly, man. Hey, listen. I'm claiming it because at the end of the day, man, Barcelona got 3 points today, man. Got 3 points in the weekend. Even though we were acting hella fluky in that game, but we got away with the win. So I don't get flamed today for sure. Yeah, man. But big ups to everyone who's watching. But listen, let's get into it, man. Let's get straight. Let's delve straight into the big talking point, the big game on the weekend, the surprise result. I guess we would say in the Premier League this week. Absolutely, for sure. Arsenal 0, West Ham 1. Now, Alfie, before I let Mikes go, I need to say this, bro. How do you lose back to back at home to West Ham? Not only do you lose back to back, that's bad enough, right? Because these guys have had a terrible season, right? This you've seen Mike's on True Ball SFC absolutely lose it every week. You didn't just lose to them, brother.
No, we
You
didn't.
managed in those 2 seasons. They left your stadium with clean sheets. You know this is West Ham we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
A West Ham team that have conceded goals basically every week that I'm watching the Premier League. And somehow they've walked into your stadium 2 seasons in a row and they've walked out with not only 3 points but with a clean sheet. I mean, Alfie, I knew that your attack was dead after Havertz' injury, even though I don't rate Havertz. You're telling us Mikel Moreno, man. Arteta has a plan with Moreno,
I
right?
don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Your
I don't
defense
want to hear
is
it.
in trouble. Moreno's in the room. That's what they tried to do, man. They
I
tried
don't
to
want to hear it.
they tried it. They tried it. No, they
Yeah,
did.
they tried it and it failed.
They tried it. Trust me. And Moreno, man, he's not good enough as a midfielder. How God, like the fact that there was any expectations of you guys even doing anything with him in the team speaks volumes about your team. But we got to get into it, man. What in the hell happened? I don't care. Like, I'm gonna say it now. Yes, even despite everything that you guys are going through, how do you still let this West Ham team? I know Graham Potter is a good manager, and I rate Graham Potter, but this West Ham team who've not kept a clean sheet since do you know when was the last time you kept a clean sheet? I'm gonna check it now because I need to know because I know it's been a while.
Oh, Southampton
been a while.
Boxing Day. Southampton and Boxing Day.
Box that was 2 months ago, man. Seriously, bro.
The reason why I remember is because I checked before the game, like on the match preview we did.
Bro, a team that haven't kept a clean sheet since Boxing Day. How many games has that been now since the last kept a clean sheet? West Ham.
God knows, bro. It's got to be like 10 or something.
My days. This
Is
team
that
lost to
including
Brentford
cupcakes?
last week. This team lost to Brent. I mean, Max, I'll let you speak, Alfie, but I need to get this out of because yesterday you Prime and Mike's were doing your thing on your on Mike's channel. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Mike's channel. I was actually in the chat. I was very busy. That's why I couldn't join. But my days, man, I'm looking at all these games. Like this team haven't. Yeah, the last time they won. Funny enough, was a 1-0 victory against Southampton, and somehow, despite everything, they kept a clean sheet at supposed Type 2 challenge in Arsenal. I'll let you speak. I always let you speak first, Alfie, because I know Prime is gonna go and he's gonna say a lot. So I'm gonna let you start.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else that needs to be said other than the fact that we were poor. There was no other way to describe the performance that we put in. I mean, I was sat there with Mike's watching the game live. We were sat there watching it, and we looked so terrible. We were so panicky at the back. There was nothing. There was nothing in terms of attacking threat. The amount of time I saw the ball get put into the box and there was no one on the end of it. I even said to Mike myself, there was only two things that were going to happen. Either our crosses weren't going to beat the first man, or the ball was going to get into the box and there was going to be no one on the end of it. And that's exactly how it turned out. We got caught on the counter attack. Calafiori shouldn't have started. We should have started with Lewis Skelly. Fair enough, he went and got a red card in the game, but that's a different situation. He should have started. There was no reason to take Lewis Skelly out of the team. So why did he? We've all heard the phrase before: "If it ain't broke, don't fix it." But because for some reason Mikel Arteta thinks, "Oh, that's fine. We'll put the sweet prince, as everyone likes to call him, at left back." He gets run over by Bowen and Wan-Bissaka. And I even said to Mike, if Lewis Skelly had started the game, they probably wouldn't have scored. They probably wouldn't have scored that goal to begin with, because he probably would have cut off the space or blocked the cross that was going in. But we started Calafiori, and we all know what happened. And then from there, we didn't even look like we were going to score. I know during the watch along, Max was panicking towards the last 5-6 minutes, thinking, "Oh, this is where we're going to drop points." I said to him, "Don't worry, we won't score. I've never been wrong." And I was right again. We didn't score. We were poor. And I still see Arsenal fans on Twitter still backing Arteta. And it drives me up the wall. Because it's clear to see that this man is not what we need to take us further. Fair enough, he's done well to take us from 8th. Fair enough, he did put us in that position in the first place. But he's taken us from 8th to 2nd. But I don't think he's got the managerial qualities to take us from being a second-place team to a first-place team. I just don't think he's got it.
I mean, I've said what I've had to say about Arteta. You know, the thing with me is, I don't like sounding like a broken record. Anything I say about Arteta isn't going to be something new. Mikes, you know what I think of Arteta. Prime, you know what I think of Arteta. We all know what we all think of Arteta. So we all sit here, and every season, nothing changes. And listen, personally, for me, Arsenal doing well, not doing well doesn't really matter to me. Doesn't really matter. Mike's and Prime, I'm sure they're gonna be having a good. They're enjoying the banter, man. Like it's beautiful to watch for them. But yeah, Mikel Arteta. This is why I've said it before. All these people that are using this injury crisis as a reason to claim that, oh, but Arteta, it's not his fault. You know, he had injury problems and all this stuff.
But it is his fault.
The ironic thing is, yeah, but that's my point. When the ironic thing is, do you remember before they had their injuries when we started this True Ballers FC? Because this True Ballers FC has been around for months. I remember Mike's, I'm sure, because you've been here from the beginning. You remember we used to talk about the fact that if they suffer injuries in that front, if Saka is out for a while, if they lose Martinelli or Trossard or Havertz to a long-term injury, that's their season done.
Yep.
And what did they tell us? They said, no. Havertz is not really that injury prone. Oh, Trossard doesn't really suffer a lot of injuries. Oh, Arteta always rotates it, and all these are the BS. And at the end of the day, here we are. Here we're starting again. Another season, another trophyless season incoming. Because I'm going to make a video and you're going to see it. I'm not going to spoil it for any of you guys, but I have some videos lined up for the Champions League. You guys are playing PSV. The talk has always been Madrid. First of all, worry about PSV first. Okay? That's the big one. If you guys are struggling against West Ham, you think the match against PSV is gonna be easy? The team that beat Liverpool and Juventus in their last 2 European games. You think that game is going to be easy? Yeah, go out there and underestimate them. See what happens. But when I really look at it from my own standpoint, he's not good enough. He needs to be sacked. I don't care. People can talk about injuries. This is his fault. This is on him. Because at the end of the day, it was your arrogance as a manager for you to think, right, that you can basically go 2-3 years not signing an actual number 9 and keep persisting with players like what's his name? Flipping Nketiah and flipping Gabriel Jesus and Kai Havertz, who's not even a striker, right? That's you. Your arrogance is what has put the club where it is now. So you deserve to be sacked for this because you've been backed. And I swear to God, and trust me, guys, a lot of people, they're gonna say whatever they want. This Arteta inners, bro. I've already said it before, man. The excuse is already lined up. Like Arteta, he's good for the season, man. He can just say, listen, he can just pack it in and say, well, what can I do? What could I do? My team is injured the whole season. And you know what's gonna happen? You're gonna have Arteta fanboys all lapping it up because that's what they do. And the next season, unfortunately for you, Alfield, and unfortunately for Josh, and unfortunately for all of the Arsenal fans who are the real Arsenal fans, you're just gonna have to watch next season go by because this season has been terrible, but we said it before, man. This was a golden chance this season. Everybody has been dead this season. Even Liverpool have just been a little bit more consistent than everyone else. Everyone. City fell off. Chelsea have fallen off now. Tottenham have never been on. Manchester United never been on. That's why you've seen teams like Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth doing so well because they just go consistently consistent. That's all they've been doing, and all of a sudden they're having crazy seasons. This was the season that Arteta should have walked the league, but guess what? He didn't walk the league, and that is a sackable offense on itself.
That's exactly what I said at the start of the season, Omar. I said this season he has to go for, if not the league, a trophy.
Yeah,
I said at the start of the season. I said at the start of the season, if he does not win a trophy or win the league, he needs to go. I feel like he's had plenty of time now. I've given him the benefit of the doubt, but he's still treating the cups as if they're nothing. But Arsenal fans like me know that we haven't won the League Cup since 1993.
But who cares?
Exactly.
Man. Go ahead. I don't want to continue.
Wait, what?
No, you were saying I was basically just saying you were saying about the Carabao Cup. You haven't won it since '93, and basically how they look down upon it.
I don't appreciate fans that look down on cups. At the end of the day, a trophy's a trophy. Doesn't matter how you look at it. So does that mean whenever Liverpool or whenever Man City win the Carabao Cup, it's a little cup? Because they don't treat it like a little cup. Look at last season when Liverpool won against Chelsea in extra time. Look at how crazy the fans went then. Van Dijk with a last-minute header in extra time. And the Arsenal fans call it a little cup. I want us to win trophies. I want us to be successful. But we're not going to be successful all the time that we've got Mikel Arteta in charge. Because he's proved time and time again that he hasn't got what it takes to manage a big club.
Look at that. And I mean, Catalan is obviously exaggerating. We go up to Catalan every single time, brother. But this is the thing, man. It is what it is. And unfortunately for you, Alfield, and a lot of the Arsenal fans that I know, because I'm cool. For some reason, I only know the Arsenal fans I know. They're all super depressed because they all want the manager gone. And unfortunately, it's just you know what it is? I say it. I'm like, supporting Arsenal right now. It's like being put in a jail cell and you don't know when you're getting out. Like you're in prison and you haven't really been given the date of when your release date is. So you're just sitting in that prison just waiting for your trial. Like when is my trial, bro? Like when am I actually gonna get my trial so then I actually defend myself and see if I'm gonna get out of here or not?
It's that
little
limbo.
bit.
It is what it is. But listen, I do want to listen. I want to switch to Mike's because we've seen the misery from Alfield, but I feel like
Yeah.
Prime and Mike's are gonna be doing a lot of cooking. This is
Stretch it,
gonna
for
be a cooking
God's
session,
sake.
and I'm sorry, Alfield. That's why I started with the Arsenal one because I wanted us to continue and get out of the Arsenal one first because I didn't want to
Yeah,
conclude with
it's
it. But
cool. It's cool.
yeah, let's go again. Let's get into it. Listen. Mike's, I'm sure he's been looking forward to the show all day because he even said it. I could tell, man. Like when I saw his face, I was like, yeah, this guy, he's just looking forward to this, man. I'm sure he's gonna go for a whole hour just lamenting on how this is the greatest day of probably his. I mean, think about it. I would, it's funny, Mike's last season. I even said that the Arsenal losing to West Ham was one of the key reasons why they didn't win the league last season. One of the big reasons. They tried to downplay it, but it was because I think they lost to you guys around December at home.
Yeah.
Right? 2-0. And yeah, man, that took a lot out of you guys. But this season, if there was any doubt, because there was beginning to be, hope from a lot of Arsenal fans that, because Liverpool had drawn three games in a row, everyone was like beginning to believe again. It's like Morpheus in the Matrix, right? They're beginning to believe. Like the belief was beginning to get in there, and then West Ham, just like last season, man, they were just the ones who just had to put the final nail in the coffin. That listen, no dreaming, man. Wake up to reality. It's just like in Naruto, man. Like just release from the genjutsu, man. You're in the genjutsu right now. Get out. Like this is reality, man. There's no tattoo race, man. Your tattoo race is finished. Finito.
I said it was over after Bournemouth.
I mean, I know you did, but let's be real. I'm talking about the ones, because listen, shout outs to
the delusional ones.
Egar was one of the ones who was he was one of the ones who was beginning to believe. And today is funny because I watched a video where he congratulated Liverpool for winning the league. I'm like, yep. The West Ham was they're finally actually like broken him. He's finally accepted. Yeah, it's not our season. But Mike's floor is yours.
Yeah, instead of addressing my club as shitty small London club, you should address my club as the Grim Reaper of Arsenal's title races instead. That's how I see it. 2-2 in the 22-23 season. I don't celebrate draws. I refused to go to that game, but when it was at home because we lost to Newcastle 5-1 in that season, but we got a draw, we nicked something. Last season, 2-0. For that context, by the way, even though Arsenal should have won that game, we lined up with a centre-back partnership of Mavropanos and Angelo Ogbonna. Mavropanos, we all know how bad he is. And Ogbonna is borderline 40. He's at Watford now. Shout out to Ogbonna every single time. Declan Rice had a stinker in that game as well. Jesus missed like a bag full of chances. Then what happens this season? Me, going before the game, Alfie already knows this. I said 2-0 Arsenal. I said Arsenal were going to win. But a lot of Arsenal fans also thought that as well. A lot of Arsenal fans thought it would be more comfortable than a 2-0. Maybe a 3, a 4. I was seeing that a lot. Maybe a 5. I think Arsenal fans thought, beat Lopetegui's West Ham. That means it's going to happen again. Just because you put 5 past us at our ground and 6 before. Well, we had Ben Johnson on the wing for David Moyes' team. Again, Zuma, Vladimir Sufa at right back. Didn't happen. There was no Ben Johnson in the left wing. He's suffering on a bench for Ipswich. There is no Naya Faged. There's no Kurt Zuma with no knees. There was just Arsenal just passing it sideways. Failing to open us up. Big Ollie Skulls, Max Kilman, Jean-Claire Todibo, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but also Aaron Cresswell. Also 40-year-old Aaron Cresswell. Pretty much 40 anyway. We always dunk on Arsenal with a Masters football player. We had Ogbonna last season. We've got Cresswell this season. I don't know what it is with old West Ham players. They love dunking on Arsenal for whatever reason. But speaking of the opposite end, Ollie Skulls. My guy. This guy, I've had stocks. I've had stocks upon stocks upon stocks for 3 years.
Hey, listen,
David
man.
Moyes not playing him, bruv. Lopetegui just playing him at the back end. I finally reap my rewards. It feels so much better when you had stocks in the player and they finally get their rewards at your club. I've been waiting so long. You see what Lewis Skelly did for that record? Only Skulls wouldn't do that. He would have taken a better touch than that. He would have weaved his way around Kudus. He wouldn't have pulled the man back because he's not a fucking bozo. Listen, everyone be in unison. Everyone be in unison and start praying, bruv. Start praying, bruv. Have a peaceful life. Peaceful. Red card them. Like, literally, more red cards than goals.
Come on, before I enter, Mikes, am I correct in saying that Lewis Kelly, I think, was sent off before and he was rescinded only to be sent off
against
for real?
Yeah. Joy is he was like the first time was so nice he had to do it twice. Like I hear it. Listen, with Lewis Skelly.
Hey, big up me, say. So go ahead.
You got to pick up this side, but remember it's every time, bruv. You got a midfield at left back, bruv. And this is what happens when you keep playing players out of position, despite the fact that they're doing well at times. They can't stay there forever, man. They can't stay there forever. But guess what? Ollie Skulls can play midfield. Ollie Skulls can play midfield, bruv. Ollie Skulls can play midfield, bruv. He can play left back. He can put in a man of the match performance on his first Premier League start. And by the way, we're not like foreign to doing this. He's doing a Reece Oxford. Everyone remembers Reece Oxford pocketing Messi.
A 16-year-old Reece Oxford against Arsenal. We will never forget that game, bro. 2-0 at the Emirates. I remember that game. I was watching it. Reece Oxford pocketing Mesut Ozil in that game. We will never forget, bro. 16-year-old.
Zarate and Kouyaté scored in that game. Bro, Zarate and Kouyaté, bro.
Oh my
God.
I left the Emirates as soon as it hit 2-0. As soon as Kouyaté scored, I was like, I'm gone. Yeah, I was there.
I had a front view of the Reece Oxford
of the cooking.
Crazy.
Bro. Yeah, this is prime Arsenal versus West Ham heritage. Academy kid having a masterclass away from home. Another clean sheet. And this is the thing, we do perform quite well at the Emirates, but there's been a lot of times when we don't get a result. But today was not that. JLS at the back for Arsenal. Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Lewis Skelly. Calafiori. Wild horse nonce. What is he doing, bruv? What is he doing just backing off? Backing off like young Philly at a court hearing. Just backing off. Wan-Bissaka running at him. What was he doing, bro? Wan-Bissaka was making him dance. He's making him dance. Like, do this stanky leg. I want to see the migrant skag. I want to see the migrant skag. Show me how you get down. Like, listen, Calafiori, yeah? Get the fuck out of here. Go back to just creating more gifts for these Arsenal guys. Go back to creating more gifts for these Arsenal football Twitter guys to start staring at you, start gooning to you. Because it's very fitting that you're called the Gooners. Because the best thing Saliba's known for. Yeah.
Hey, whoa.
Exactly. That's the best thing Saliba's known for, bruv. Where was Saliba, bro? Where was Saliba? There was a real French centre-back in town.
Listen.
Jean-Claire Todibo.
Listen, man.
Jean-Claire
Todibo. Can I just say this, man? Can I just say this, Prime? While you talk about Todibo, right? Do you remember in the start of the season when Lopetegui the fraud was actually doing some madness with Todibo? We knew Todibo was the guy. Bro, I said it before, man. One of the few players that I look at in the past few years who we got rid of, where I'm like, yo, I would have loved to have had this kid. It's Todibo. I mean, bro, we had him in our hands. How did we not? Like, why did we put a buyback clause in the contract, bro? We can do this buyback clause for so many of the other players, man. Why did we do it for him, man? This guy would have walked our defense this season. Absolutely killed it.
The theme is poetic justice because the reverse fixture of this game, Todibo rushed Lopetegui. Rushed him at half-time. That was the reverse fixture. 5-2 at half-time. And now he's putting masterclasses. He's putting masterclasses away from home. On his first game back, we even took him off to put Mavrobozo on. And they still couldn't score. Kilman had Cresswell and Mavroboza
that is
next
the
to
worst
them.
thing.
Cresswell and Mavroboza both next to him. Max Kilman. And look what happened. We still didn't concede. Because they thought, Mikel Merino, the guy who just looks like Arteta's cousin, is going to score a goal. He ain't going to score shit, bruv. This isn't Caleb Okoli. This isn't Conor Cody, Leicester City's defence and all that. Because people like to look at my defence. And listen, I've said, cool, we conceded bare goals and stuff. Do you remember our previous manager? I've talked about Mavropanos week in, week out. You see what happens when he doesn't start. But to be fair, in this game, I think it doesn't matter who started for West Ham. Everyone put in a great performance. There isn't one player I can single out that had a bad performance for West Ham. But there isn't one player for Arsenal that I can single out had a good performance. There isn't one. None of them. And the reason why? They're just not that good. And we put in a masterclass, bruv. This is simple as that. Mohamed Kudus fighting everyone off. This is the Mohamed Kudus I want to see. Gabriel, put the fries in the bag. Saliba, put the fries in the bag. They're all looking like McDonald's workers. That's why you wear red. You can't call yourself the Gooners in 2025.
Saliba looked like he was his head was in Madrid, man.
Yeah, his head was in the French changing room, bruv. That's where his head was. Listen,
man. No, don't take your phones with. Don't take your phone with you. That's all we're saying, man.
Yeah. Gabriel and Saliba looking like Rizzo kicks, man. I can't be asked. I can't be asked for their centre-back partnerships, man. Overhyped. This isn't Van Dijk and Konate. This isn't Rudiger. This isn't anyone you want to fucking bring up, bruv. This is Gabriel and Saliba. 2 centre-backs have won fuck all. Done nothing of note. A real centre-back was in town, Jean-Claude Tadiba. I don't want to hear disrespect on Max Kilman's name again. When you don't put Mavropanos next to him, this is how he fucking performs. And to be fair, he didn't even need to do anything. Comfortable on the ball. Arsenal weren't even pressing. I was nervous all game. I just wanted the game to end because this is West Ham we're talking about. We don't do this often. We bottle it. But to be fair, so do Arsenal. So it kind of evens out in a way. And I want to go back to. I want to go back to running North London teams again, man. I need to get my get back on Tottenham in a few weeks. I need my get back there, and then we can start running North London again. Because North London, you ain't got a colour, bruv. You're a mixed race. You're mixed race, bruv. Right now,
it's looking colorless right now, man. I'm not.
Yeah, because we don't even discuss who runs East London because we're competing with fucking Leyton Orient. Like we've always run East London, and then we're the last team to win last London team to win a trophy, and that's might even maintain this season. I want to keep it that way. I want to keep it that way because we're winning another one, so I need everyone else to fucking fail. And this is a good way by doing it, by causing the pain ourselves. I love causing other people's pain in football because I don't get any fucking joy. This is how I get my joy. Defeating the teams that we're not meant to beat. This is why I don't accept draws at this club because you are capable of results like this. You need to do it more often. When we hit teams on transition and stuff like that as well, this is where we benefit a lot. We just need to work on ourselves when we're actually playing in possession. But even then, when we did play in possession, Wan-Bissaka and Souček doing 1-2s. You can't let Thomas Souček and Aaron Wan-Bissaka be doing 1-2s in your own backyard, bro. In your own backyard. Like, you can't just put a back 4 centre-backs and think you're going to defend properly. You are not Pep, Mikel Arteta. You are not Pep.
I like that one.
Back 4 of centre-backs. It's not my line, it's expressions is. But, back 4 centre-backs. Back 4 centre-backs, just to think you can defend. These centre-backs can't defend in wide areas. Calafiori and Timber hype, man. I don't want to hear about youngster this and youngster that, Ethan Wan Messi and all this. Oliver Scholes, bruv. Remember the name Oliver Scholes. Ollie Scholes, man. This guy still looks like he could be doing his GCSEs right now. But he's performing. He's performing and he's warranted a start. He's benching Emerson. Emerson doesn't even play bad. Emerson has not played bad for West Ham. It's just Scholes has been that good.
Yeah, Scholes is playing just much better. He's just much better right now. These guys,
listen. Everyone on that pitch for Arsenal was shit. Odegaard, world-class hype. Partey, more cases than passes completed. Declan Rice, playing for the wrong team again. Playing for West Ham again. You're playing for West Ham again. Leandro Trossard.
Come on, man. You left West Ham 2 seasons ago, man.
Should have signed for a big club. Signed for a big club. You should have signed for a big club. Signed for a big club. You should have signed for a big club. Signed for a big club. You should have signed for a big club.
Hey, big up to judges. Judges on folk, man. Says Omar, will we ever get back into to football talent we used to have in the 90s and 2000s. I can't watch these garbage players and trash system players today. Where are the world class superstars? I'm sorry, judges. I'm just like you, man. And unfortunately, I don't
No, we got
see that.
Odegaard.
Oh, fuck off.
We got
Okay,
Odegaard, man.
let's
World-class talent.
can we let's be serious for 1 second here. Judges, if I'm gonna be real with you, there's a few. I feel like guys like Yamal and Vinicius are kind of the last hopes of like this generation.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think so. I think that the problem is, you're seeing it even now, especially in the Premier League, man. Premier League, for some reason, they're just killing ballers. Like, I would say the closest baller that I think of like Savio. When I saw him in La Liga, he looked like he was a baller at La Liga. But I feel like under Pep, with all this system thing, he's just holding him back. You understand what I'm saying? Right? Jack Grealish, he's a baller, absolute baller he was at Aston Villa, right? But you put him in, you see him now at Pep Guardiola City, system player, absolutely ruined them, right? You understand what I'm saying? I've already said this. For me, I feel like for his career, he needs to leave City while he still can go to a big club, or even return to Villa. I feel like returning to Villa right now would do him a lot of good. But yeah, man, unfortunately, yes, football is too systematic. It's too systematic. You understand what I'm saying? Right? Football has become very robotic. Like, you see it now, especially now when you see it, Mikez, right? I'm Prime. Football today, they're killing the ballers. You see football, you see players who are trying to do like dribbling, right? They're getting coached. It's getting coached out of footballers. You understand what I'm saying, right? Like, especially in the Premier League, you see a player who's doing like, you guys remember when Richarlison, that game when he was doing the keep me up and he literally just got clamped, right? It's like, bro, footballers can't have fun on the pitch anymore, right? You feel me, right? You just can't just, I get it. You can irritate your opponent,
but
but
Tottenham were already winning that game. Like Forest's head were gone. Forest's head were gone. They're gonna kick.
Yeah, but that's the thing. In Brazil, that is normal, right? And I guess in South America, it's normal, right? You see, when a team is so comfortable, they just start doing stuff, right? And people can say it's disrespectful, but
he knows what he's doing that. He knows what he's doing that. Like, he knows he starts to get a reaction. Like, he's been in the Premier League for long enough to do that. I get your point, though. But listen, Arsenal got natural talents, man. They got Marino. They put him up front. They got Marino, the pure football.
No, they only got one year right now, and I mean, listen, I read Lewis Kelly. Lewis Kelly is not a baller, but 1 year, I think he's. The problem is, I feel like under Arteta, if he sticks around with Arteta, he's just gonna stifle him. You know what I'm saying? Because let's be real. I was talking about this Ethan 1 year guy since before the injuries, and Arteta wasn't playing him before the injuries. And all of a sudden, he starts getting injuries with Odegaard being out, Saka being out, and then he was forced to play 1 year. Now he's in a position now where he has to play 1 year every single week. You understand what I'm saying? And 1 year is playing well. Who would have thought this? I was saying this to Northside when this guy, when everyone was fit. I sat there and I
spoke about this, Mike.
What?
We spoke about this at the start of the season. I said breakout season for Ranieri, and you told me only if he plays. And now we're in a situation where Arteta hasn't got a choice but to play him because he's got no one else, because he's ran everyone else into the ground.
It's just a shame that Ranieri bucked a real youngster, a real proper young talent on the weekend, It's just a shame for Ranieri. Like, you can't pass the Ollie Scales test. We've seen this before. We've seen this at FA Youth Cup. We've seen this in actual football as well, in like senior team football. You got to buck an actual player. Remember the name Ollie Scales. Remember the fucking name. Had enough. I'm so happy that he's like Potter's playing youngsters. He trusts the youth, so he can throw someone in. First start, Arsenal away.
I told you, man. Didn't I tell you? Remember when you hired him? What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you things would change? I told people about this the Graham Potter appointment. People think because he didn't do well at Chelsea, that's it, his stock is dead. Nah. Put some respect on Potter's name, man. Just because he didn't do it, I feel like at West Ham, that's the right club for him. Because it's not a club with huge expectations, right? The fans are not expecting Champions League football, Europa League football. Like, they'll be happy with just Europe. They'll just be happy to be in the conference. I know they've won the conference league already, but they'll be happy if they compete for conference league every season, just as long as they're just in and around those areas rather than always worrying about fighting relegation, right? And I'm like, for me, Graham Potter, that is the kind of job that he seems to be fit to, right?
Yeah.
And also, this is a good manager. I feel like because there's no pressure at West Ham, you don't let him cook.
Yep.
They will let him cook. And you're seeing it right now. He's already cooking. I mean, I know, listen, I know you guys have dropped points. I mean, let's be real. We were going to do True Ballers FC on Thursday. It would have been a completely different show if we did it on Thursday. Let's be real. Because I know you were fuming after that Brentford performance, right?
Yeah.
But listen, we knew that in the season, you guys were going to have up and downs because this is not his team. But let's be real, right? You guys haven't been terrible since he's come in, right? You guys have had some good games here and there, and that's the good thing. This shows hope that next season, if he signs his players and basically gets rid of the players that he doesn't want, right, and keeps the players that he wants and signs the players that will improve the team, who knows? Because if Nottingham Forest, Newcastle, Aston Villa, and all these teams are doing well, we've been noticing every season how we're seeing new teams who were basically mid-table and didn't have any chance, all of a sudden growing in stature for the past few years. We saw it with Nottingham Forest, we've seen it with Villa, we've seen it with Newcastle. Who are we to say that West Ham can be that? I've already said that for me, West Ham have a very good squad, right? You guys have a lot of great players in your team, right? You just needed to have a good manager who can blend these players together. And I feel like Graham Potter is that guy, right? Because the pressure will not be on, and they will just give him the chance to just be like, all right, do whatever you want, fix it however you want. And listen, at the end of the day, the fans are not expecting Champions League or European football, so the fans will just be chilling, be like, listen, as long as we don't fight relegation, as long as we can just, just be comfortable, no worries for the rest of the season, we'll take it. You understand what I'm saying?
I need to, my whole thing is my expectation from what I want to Moyes is to keep the standards of Europe. And I knew he was slipping. So eventually I would like to see Europe, but I can see him getting that. I can see him getting some form of Europe. I can see him, if I need him to try for cups as well. I need you to try and go for cups. People could be like,
stuff like that. Yeah.
Like, Big Six don't take cup seriously. We'll take cup seriously because there's opportunities there. Because that's why Big Six clubs always end up there in the first place. Because even when they're not putting their strongest team out, their weakened team is better than most other people's weakened teams most of the time anyway. So that's why teams end up going far anyway. So we need to take that opportunity. Am I expecting it next season? Talk to me after the transfer window in the summer. But I think this is the right manager to give money. He's got good talent ID. He had gems at Brighton. Even if you have to go for cheaper markets and stuff, or go to
even at let's not forget. Yo, can we just talk about this for 1 second, Prime? Is it true? And Prime, back me if you, because I know you probably you checked some of these things out, right? Is it true that Graham Potter's record, he's never lost to Arsenal? He's won every game he's played against Arsenal or something similar to that.
He's got one of the best records.
Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, because let's be real, I think when they beat Chelsea 5-0, he wasn't in the team. I mean, was he in the team? I think he was in the team when they won 1-0 at Stamford Bridge. But so I know he beat Arsenal when he was an Östersund's manager. Yeah, when he beat them 1-1. And Brighton, they took a lot. I remember this is the first season you guys were challenging for the league, and they beat you guys 3-0. I think that was Potter was the manager, right?
That was the derby.
3-0.
The 3-0 was De Zerbi. The season before that was the top 4 season where Brighton had Caicedo, that was under
right. And they won, and they beat Arsenal.
That was 2-1. That was 2-3-1 or some shit. Like they had Caicedo.
There you go. But yeah, man. But listen, I do want, before I do go, I want to read some of the chats because the chat is very active, man. He says, I told you before, Mike, about Todibo. He's talking
trust me, I knew about Todibo. We never dropped.
He says, the terrorist Valverde and Abidal treated him harshly. I don't necessarily, Abidal is a legend. Valverde, he can go fuck off. That absolute criminal fraud. Nah, man, that guy should be in jail. He should be, you know how what's his name? I'm not even gonna do it. I was gonna use the Kendrick Lamar verse, but nah. He should be locked up in a cell for the rest of his life. You're looking at my club right now. Look at where my club is right now. It's because of that prick.
That's a meet the Valverde.
Mm-hmm. And that's Valverde, the absolute fraud. Him and Bartomeu should be locked up in a cell for the rest of their life. I don't care, man. Absolute frauds. But yeah, Kudus first good performance this season to his
Yeah,
standards.
he's had a shocking season, so this was the best one by far.
Yeah. Judges says 1 year is great ball to Trossard. 2-on-1 with Odegaard, and Odegaard or someone called his name and did his best for his gum impression.
That video is so funny. I didn't even notice that in game.
I haven't seen that.
Waiting Trossard in that clip.
This OMG Ben White shot almost get in. Okay. It says not London is together. Yeah, together in the mud, I guess.
Yeah, just two
It's
ugly women.
Millwall owns Miss is London. Woo! This guy, he's trying to trigger you, Mike. Stop
Yeah,
it.
it's not good.
He's trying to trigger you.
We'll have a won against West Ham in like 20 years.
Yeah, hey, listen, man. I want to see that derby, man. West Ham versus Mill. Oh my goodness, bro. They need to bring. They better call the police if Millwall ever get to the Premier League. Because I'm telling you right now, Millwall versus West Ham, they need to make sure that the police are outside, bro. Because you know there will be a fight outside. And Mike's brother, because I know you have a season ticket, but bro, I would highly recommend you don't go to the games. But I know you probably.
I've been to one before. It's fine. I don't care.
No, hey, listen. Unless you're down for a scrap, because listen, man, one of them might just look at you and be like, "Listen, man, you look."
Bro, I went to Upton Park when I was 9 years old, bro. I survived. I'll be fine.
Yeah, it's just not
The day that West Ham play Millwall in the Premier League is the day that every single drug dealer across London is going to have a field day because all of the police will be at the stadium. That is what will happen.
And it also won't be in my lifetime because Millwall are fucking shit.
When we go to the judges, says not London is pink. It says Arsenal red, Spurs white, and not London is forever. Forever both suck. Yeah. Says but I think he meant to say but and he says basically yeah. But when Vieri is better than Messi when he was 17. Yeah, they did. Do you remember they tried to do it? They were trying to be cheeky with it. They tried to do the stats. Ronaldo and Messi. I'm like, I swear to God, bro. These guys, they do this in the internet. They know what they're doing. They're trying to trigger people like me. But I'm like, listen, whatever, man. I am not. Listen, man. I'm too old for this. But yeah, it says start making sense. Declan Rice should have signed for a bigger club than West Ham, like Millwall. Jeez. Imagine Declan Rice at Millwall. Oh my goodness. My goodness. But Kula says Liverpool versus City was a snooze fest. Yeah, we'll get into that for sure. City are dead, man. They are finished. Pep Guardiola, we'll get into that. But Prime, I do want to ask you, man, because you've been quiet the whole stream so far. Before we get into Chelsea, I want to ask you first of all, because you had a lot to say about, West Ham Arsenal, man. Talk to me, man. What did you think of the game? What did you think of the performance? What did you think of West Ham once again going to the Emirates and keeping a clean sheet for the second season in a row?
Stay humble, eh? Stay humble, eh? Listen, Mikes, I told you, bro. Next time, listen to me, okay? Stop being a little chicken. Listen to me. Mike's actually said a lot, bro. So he didn't leave me much to cook with. So
I mean, we kind of knew it. Come on, man.
Arsenal fans and the revisionist history. I'll go with this. Arsenal fans and your revisionist history that you guys love to do. Drop the gimmick, man. I find it funny that people are now saying the title is done and handing Liverpool the league. Why? I know it's 11 points, but if you truly believe in Arteta and you truly believe in your team, the title shouldn't be done by now. The title should only be over when it's mathematically over. I'll be real. If you guys are really that good and you really have that mentality, you wouldn't give up by now. I'll be honest. You shouldn't give up by now. But because we know what you are, it makes sense. You guys are gonna flip flop. You're seeing people talk about how we have to give Arteta credit for, winning the FA Cup and stuff like that, and people saying that we shouldn't be saying that we shouldn't be discrediting him, which is fine. I hear that, but The only reason why rival fans say Arteta won it with Emery's squad is because when Arsenal were in 8th back to back and they were bottom of the league and Spurs were top of the league, the first time ever in Premier League history, Arsenal fans were using the defense of, well, you know, it's a toxic squad. Arteta needs time to build his squad, so it doesn't count. So if it doesn't count for Arteta's record and Arsenal were bottom of the league and they were 8th twice, maybe the FA Cup then shouldn't also count. But I don't know. That's just my thing. Scarles, masterclass. My left back. How long left on his contract, Miles?
Oh,
Fuck knows. No idea. No, now you made me panic. I've got no clue.
I'm just saying. Listen, when it runs down to the final year, Arsenal can spend 210 million to sign him. Because he's twice the player of Declan Rice. Twice the player of Declan Rice. Martin Odegaard, captain, fantastic, better than Martin Mesut Ozil. Why is it at the end of the game, basically the final kick of the game, why did you let old man Sterling take that free kick? I don't blame Sterling.
That pissed me off so much.
No, Alfie, we didn't ask you. We don't care what you think. I don't blame Sterling.
Should I leave then?
Yeah. We don't care. I don't blame Sterling for that free kick. Odegaard, you're the captain. You're supposed to be the leader. Why didn't you step up and take it? Where have you been? You're the generational talent, bro. Remember, Real Madrid miss you, by the way. You get into a combined 11 over Modric, by the way. You're this phenomenal talent. Huh? Well, you're better than KDB, by the way. You know, better than Palmer. You're better than Madison. You're better than everybody, by the way. Huh?
Clearly
Where
not.
were you? Why didn't you step up? Be counted. Huh? So you can't do anything in midfield. Declan Rice can't do anything in midfield. Thomas Partey's in prison. What's the point? What's the point? Arsenal don't have a midfield now. Arsenal don't have a midfield now. And then you have Saliba filming Gabriel in the changing rooms. You have R. Skelly at left back. You have Timber at right back. Pause. First of all, why is his name Timber? It's a pause. You've got Cooking with Raya in goal. That's crazy, man. It's crazy. You don't have a striker. You're playing Marino as a striker. Marino's played what? DM 8, 10. Now he's playing as a striker. Only position left is for him to play centre back.
He's played there before, though.
Oh no, I mean for Arsenal. We know he's played there before. That's why Arsenal signed him. We knew he played there before. Come on, bro. It's like you know how there's racial profiling? There's Arsenal profiling, bro. It's the profile. Fits the profile perfectly. I just wonder, like, what you guys are going to do next, because Souček's available in the summer. We know what Arteta is. The signing makes too much sense. I'll be so real. It makes too much sense. Sign Souček. When I was saying in January Arsenal should get Rashford, maybe you should have signed Rashford. That's all I'm saying. Guy came off the bench. He got 2 assists. Yeah, Chelsea are shit, but West Ham, they were supposed to be shit. So, but you guys couldn't beat West Ham. So who knows? I don't know. Who knows? Potter. I mean, it's not the first time Potter stopped the Dark Lord. You know. You guys don't get Harry Potter, no?
I like that reference, Prime. I like that reference.
No, we do.
Yeah.
No one else responded. Okay, thank you, Alfie. No one else responded.
Yeah, I grew up on Harry Potter, man. I know that stuff.
This would have been. Imagine if someone like Ten Hag was Arsenal manager, bro. That joke would have landed so beautifully, man.
Yeah.
No, but Arteta is he does dark magic.
You
I
know,
don't know. I don't know.
he's Tom Riddle. You know, Tom Riddle in the Chambers of Secrets. That's that because
Yeah.
he's basically Voldemort. So
I don't know. We'll see because Arsenal fans can't blame the board because they're backing Arteta. They're giving him the money. The guy gave him 105 million to spend on Declan Rice for 1 year left of his contract. Listen, I rate Declan Rice personally, but I'm sorry. 105 million on Declan Rice and you've not signed a striker in 5 years doesn't make sense to me. I'm just saying. Getting on your knees and begging for Kai Havertz for 65 million doesn't make sense to me when you've not signed a striker. I'm sorry. Getting Willian on a free from Chelsea doesn't make sense to me when you've not signed a striker. Getting Jorginho for 5 mil when he had 5 months left of his contract in January. So Arteta's done it before. So Declan Rice wasn't the first time he's overspent on the player with little to no time left on his contract. Wow, previous. So you have Partey who has a case. Arteta has a case. You have Skelly at left back who has a case. Crazy. You have West Ham have a European trophy. Arsenal don't have a European trophy. Bro.
I mean, West Ham are the last London team to win a trophy, aren't they?
Yeah.
At
By
this
the way, I
point,
just want to mention, Prime, to answer your question from earlier, Ollie Scott's contract runs out 2028.
2028.
Okay.
So what's that? 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so in 2 years' time, 2027, Arsenal fork over that 210 million, man. 210.
Hey, listen,
We
man.
need
I'm sure Mike's will be open to the idea. They'll probably find another.
Yeah,
They would have already unearthed another superstar.
Yeah,
Yeah, they need to upgrade on Lewis Skelly, so fair enough.
Yeah, you do. Skelly, Shite and Smelly, Lewis Sketto. Hey, stay humble, eh? Stay humble, eh? Stay humble, eh? And also, before we finish, the best right winger, the best English right winger is Jared Bowen. I'm sorry. You have to be honest now. We have to be honest now. He's the only person that's done it in the European final. Can we be honest now? Listen, I rate Saka, but tell that guy to go left back, bench Skelly, and you put Bowen in the forward line now. Come on. Okay. He's done it in the European final. He knows what pressure is. You see that header, by the way, that he scored? You see that header?
Yeah. Beat that.
And he's not. Oh, but he's not a striker. Where's their excuse for West Ham? Hey, Graham Potter. What phase is he in? How much has he spent?
Oh man, this whole phase thing will never fail to piss me off. I've had enough of it.
All these phases and transitions, mate. Just win, bro. Win or fuck off.
Listen, man. Too many phases and transition, man. What are we doing here, man? What kind of gender confused stuff are we listening to here, man? All these
what in the Calafiori are we doing, bro? Like,
one the Thomas gathering, bro.
That's the only time Calafiori is good on transition is his actual gender transition. Like, because he was getting cooked by Wan-Bissaka and Suchet, bro.
Absolutely.
Actually, you know what? That Skelly red card. Okay, I'll be honest. I don't think it's necessarily his fault because, you know, we know with safeguarding issues, Skelly can't be in the dressing room to get the team talk because of a certain guy that's there. So it's not his fault, bro. He didn't know what to do. So it's not Skelly's fault, man. I'm gonna defend him, bro. I'm defending him. I'm gonna defend him. It's not Skelly's fault, bro. It's that certain. Yeah. Again, right? It's not Arteta's fault. He spent 105 million on Declan Rice 1 year left on his contract. If you want to blame anyone, you blame Partey. If Partey didn't have a weird case, they wouldn't have spent that money on Declan Rice. You see how it's making sense now? You see how everything, all roads linked to Partey, man. Hey, Drake. Kendrick was right, man. Kendrick was right.
Bro, Arsenal just over your sound, bro. That's
man. They're moving like OVO, aren't they? But big up to Jay Simpson says Is this guy high? Bowen is not better than Saka. I'm a Spurs fan, but even I can deny that he's the best
Spurs don't win
left wing
trophies. We
in the
don't care
Prem
about your opinion, bro.
after
We
after
don't care about
Salah.
your opinion. Spurs don't win trophies, bro. We
Damn.
don't care about your opinion, bro.
I can let the country down.
Did Bowen ever did Bowen ever let anybody down in the European final? I don't remember that, bro.
He never let me down.
Damn.
Mm,
That was
interesting.
that was a low blow, man.
It's not a low blow. He did. He let the country down twice. Twice. Hey,
Mm.
Bowen would have won at least one of those finals. Is all I'm saying. Bowen has 100% record in finals. Saka has 100% record in finals. But I know which record I'd rather have. That's all I'm saying. Hey, Alfie, fight back, bro. Fight back, bro.
All right.
What can I fight back with? Every time I try and fight back, you turn around to me and say, "Speak when you're spoken to."
Defend your manager, bro.
I'm not defending him anymore. He's useless.
Oh, look, Alfie's on his 8 mile bullshit now. His
Good
8 mile
coaches
bullshit,
wear out the
bro.
wet paper bag.
Alfie's on his 8 mile bullshit, bro. Yeah, I am white. I am a fucking butt. No, you don't want that, bro. You don't want that, bro. Speak the truth,
He's
man.
on his eighth move. I see. Yeah, but big up to everyone who's watching, guys. We got 9 people in the building. Make sure you guys smash the like button and subscribe to the channel and subscribe to Mike's, Alfield, and Prime's channel, even though he doesn't upload, but he's always here.
Follow
Man.
Prime on Twitter.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen. I do want to move on. I know this is we spent an hour with this cooking session. It's been amazing, but Alfield is over. It is over, Alfield. Okay. Your torture is over. But big up to
Don't lie to him. Arteta's not leaving, bro. Don't lie to him.
No, I'm talking about this. I'm talking about today.
Yeah, I can rest easy now.
Okay, that's easy today. But he's big up to Jason. Says we got kicked out of the Conference League. It sucks that Chelsea will put their B team and play and will more time win it. I mean, let's be real, man. Hey, you know what's crazy, man? You guys getting kicked out of that tournament. I feel like that was the most Spursiest thing because that was the easiest trophy for you guys to win, and somehow, some way, you managed not to win it. Somehow, the football
Spurs fans didn't want to win it, bro. They were telling me that, but
and
Arsenal fans will banter us. They didn't want the Conference League.
Yeah, well, good for them. But listen, let's get into it, man. Prime. After obviously the Arsenal game, your lot played, and yeah, man, you guys had a good start to the first half. Got the goal. Things were looking good. Come on, things started well. You understand what I'm saying, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I was very impressed with how you guys played in the second half and the first half. And yeah, bro, that second half, everything just went to shit. Everything. And yeah, Aston Villa 2, Chelsea 1. 2 goals by Marco Asensio after they were 1-0 down. Courtesy of Marco Asensio with 2 Rashford assists. Not 1, but 2. And a late winner by Aston Villa. Who's this? Jason says, "Where are you from? Your accent sounds like you're somewhere from the Caribbean." No, I'm African, brother. I'm African. But yeah, Prime. I know you can. I have a feeling of the kind of like you're gonna go through. You're gonna be like, well, I kind of said this and all these stuff, but I want to honestly ask you because you were on Lewis's channel, obviously, when the whole thing went down, right? Right. I understand that you didn't have your expectations high, but to have had a game like that, right? Do you feel like Maresca, it was down to Maresca, or do you put that performance on the players themselves?
Maresca should have made earlier and quicker subs. But the players, I don't know. We played well in the first half, particularly, and we created more than enough chances to be able to go and win the game, or at least see it out. But regardless, the biggest blame goes back to the sporting directors.
Mm.
Villa were not better than us, but they won the game from 2 players they signed in January. And we ended the window without a striker. So, I don't know. It is what it is. We played a lot better than I thought we'd play. So, and I thought we'd lose 2-0. We lost 2-1. I don't really care.
I mean, I hear you, man. When I saw the lineup and I saw Pedro Neto playing in the 9, I was like,
Oh no, so Neto impressed me playing as a 9. Did well. Enzo, again, what do I keep saying about him? Mikes, what do I keep saying about Enzo? Well, he plays well when he has the 2 bodyguards in midfield.
Yep.
He had Caicedo and Reece, Enzo Ball, and Cuckoo. I don't want to see that guy ever play for my club again. Don't want to see another player. I've been saying this for months now. I told Chelsea fans when we signed them, this guy's not as good as you think that he is. He's not that good. I've been saying all season he's not been playing well. When he got a hat-trick in the Conference League, people try to gaslight me. He has not been playing well. He is not good. He's one of the worst players I've seen play for Chelsea.
wow.
And I've seen the likes of Havertz. I've seen Bakayoko. He's one of the worst players I've ever seen play for Chelsea. The guy doesn't press. He can't play out wide. He can't play as a 9. He can't play 10. His first touch is awful. He robbed Palmer basically of an assist. He's just awful to watch because at least other players gave me a lot of something. Werner gave me a decoy run. Give me he has no. The only thing he has is scoring goals, but even then, like we can't use you properly. So, like, what way can we use you to get the goals out of you? We can't, unless it's in the Conference League where you want a stat pad, and even then you're shit. Like, I don't know. It is what it is.
Hey, big up to Northside LDN. Big up to you, my brother, Northside, for the raid. Appreciate you, familia.
Maresca did exactly what people have wanted him to do. He changed it up. He played like a back 3, back 5. He played Palmer out on the wing instead of in the center. Palmer, I don't know. I think he was okay, to be fair, but like, also, you're our best player. You have to be doing more. Everyone's giving you this big tag of being generational and whatnot. So you have to, like, if we're calling you a world-class player, you got to live up to that to put in these performances.
I'm not going to lie. I know you're going to Nkunku, but brother, Palmer's performance was for me worse. I'm sorry. I know
he wasn't.
Was bad.
Palmer wasn't worse than Nkunku. You stopped that. You're exaggerating. Nkunku was the worst player on the pitch.
Oh, man.
Palmer should have done better. I agree. Like, he was poor. However, he still created enough chances. And if Nkunku wasn't so bad, then Nkunku scores, Palmer gets an assist, and we're able to come away with it. But then again, there's like 5 minutes later, Palmer had a chance. You know that chance where he slipped? Why he slipped? He slipped because Nkunku was on the left of him. Palmer saw him, and he got caught up in 2 minds whether to pass it to Nkunku or to take a shot himself. But Nkunku
oh my days! Why would he overthink it?
The reason why he overthought it is because Nkunku's actually in a good position. But knowing what Nkunku's like, he would have missed. Palmer was caught in 2 minds. That's why Palmer slipped, and then Palmer took the shot. So, but if that was Jackson on that side instead of Nkunku, Palmer would have passed it anyway because he trusts Jackson. They have chemistry with each other. But with Nkunku, the guy's just ass. But people want to still rate him and say he's our best striker. He's not. He's not good at anything. He should have gone to Bayern in January because he's not playing at Bayern. He doesn't start for any big team because he offers nothing. He's not worth being a luxury player for. That's why he balled out at Leipzig, and that's why he got kicked out of PSG. That's not that good. That's why the guy doesn't play for France, because he's not that good. But Chelsea were stupid enough to pay big money on the guy.
Wow.
I have to leave my club.
I mean, I think you guys assigned him as a 10, but I don't even think over there he's doing much of a good job, is he?
Because he's not a 10. Yeah, he's nothing. He offers nothing.
He's like a center forward, maybe kind of player or something like that.
Not a center forward. He's a false 9. But even then, as a false 9, you need to offer more than what Nkunku offers.
It's ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie. I know, like, don't get it twisted. Nkunku was one of the worst players, right? And maybe I don't know. I feel like with Palmer, man, yeah. I mean, I know that the opportunity. You're right. I feel like the Palmer of last season would have just taken the shot. You understand what I'm saying? If he just saw the opening, you understand what I'm saying?
He's in poor form. He should be like. He's either poor form or he's burnt out or whatever. He needs to come out of the firing line. But the same thing I said about Jackson like 2-3 months ago, that he needs to come out of the firing line. We've got no one else. So that's why he just has to keep playing. Because we have no one. And again, that goes back to the poor squad planning. Why do we not have anyone? Enzo Fernandez dropped down in the near the end of the game. He was crying because he looked like he's hurt.
Yeah, it looks like
we don't have anyone. Caicedo, he dropped down against Man City. We don't have anyone. Why do we not have the squad depth? Chalobah got injured in the last game. We don't have anyone. You see why I keep complaining about the squad depth? I keep complaining about the sporting directors, but people want to tell me nonsense about Maresca. Listen, cool, I don't care about Maresca. If you get rid of him, these sporting directors are going to get someone who's just as bad, if not worse. So we're in the same predicament. Bro, we spent all summer chasing a striker that wants to come to Chelsea. We didn't sign them because of it. We were haggling over money. We went into January still needing a striker. We got rid of a forward, didn't get a striker. We tried to get a centre back, Guehi. We weren't willing to spend the money on Guehi, even though I agree he's not good. But we weren't willing to spend the money on Guehi because we have a buyback clause on him. We recalled Chalobah, and now he's injured. And the Sassy.
Oh, wow.
The Sassy's playing well at Villa. You see what happens when you play a centre back at centre back instead of playing him at right back? He actually does well. I was telling Chelsea fans, the Sassy's actually good. He's better than Chalobah. He's better than Colwell. But because you guys rate Chalobah because he's from Cobham and you rate Colwell because he's mixed race. I'm sick of it. And Jorgensen, to be fair, I think he had like a good game. The goal he conceded, the second goal, that's poor. You got to be doing better. There's no excuses.
Yeah, that was
you have to be doing better. However, why am I in this situation where I have two goalkeepers who are not of a level? Why again?
That's ridiculous. Considering you guys have like five, you guys signed like 5 goalkeepers in the past like 2 years.
Chelsea fans want to protest now because they're xenophobic towards our owners. However, back in the summer, you guys were praising our signings. I wasn't though, because I still didn't get a striker. I didn't want Enzo Fernandez 2 Januaries ago. You guys wanted him. I didn't want Mudryk. You guys wanted him because you wanted to get one over on Arsenal. I didn't want Nkunku. You guys wanted him. He's better than Jackson. He's not better than Jackson. He's not better than a shit Jackson we've seen the last 2 months.
Wow.
You see why I get angry and I talk about the sporting directors and the stupid fan base. Someone wants to call in to talk sport and talking about, they're taking money from the club. They're not backing the club. Listen, it's just get rid of these sporting directors. And the owners, Clear Lake, Bali, whatever, Blueco, get rid of these sporting directors because, like, we need to get Champions League football this season. We need the money to come in from Champions League, and we need to get that Jordan sponsorship again for money. So you would think, in order to secure top 4, we would have went in and got someone in January. I said, recall Leslie, go get me Ferguson on loan, and I'll be happy for the end of the season. Because at least that will be enough. But no, Ferguson went to fucking West Ham. Leslie's still at Southampton. Our 2 strikers got injured. Our centre-back, we recall, is injured. And it looks like Enzo and Caicedo, one of them could drop any day now. Wow. And we play Copenhagen, I think, in 2 weeks. Bro, that's one of the tougher ties in the competition.
Yeah. In the Conference League, they're one of the favorites as well.
What do I know? I'm not proper Chelsea. So
I mean, listen, man. We only bring proper fans in here, man. So at the end of the day, they can say whatever they want. And but Prime, this question actually was for me from Ravi. He says, "Question: What do you think is the difference between Ange and the Chelsea manager?" I think that honestly, I feel like with Ange is one of those managers. He's just a one-dimensional manager. He just does the same thing, right? And
So is
basically, whether
Maresca. So is
sometimes
Maresca.
it works out and sometimes
Those
it
are
doesn't.
Omar, no, it's not. So is Maresca, to be fair. He's also one-dimensional.
So,
There is
so
no.
what kind of dimension? Like one dimension.
The difference is both of these managers should be at Spurs. They shouldn't be at Chelsea.
So you
both
think
have a-
Maresca and Ange are very similar in?
They're both
in-
one-dimensional. Yes, they're both very one-dimensional. They're both like live by my philosophy, die by my philosophy.
Oh, okay.
To
So
be
you,
fair-
I mean,
To be
listen,
to be fair with
I
Ange,
didn't
right?
think-
I actually do think he's good. However, you're seeing over the last year, maybe 18 months with Spurs right now, that like a lot of things are going wrong where it's kind of hard not to look at him at blame.
Yeah.
Now, Spurs is a poison chalice anyways, right? So is what it is, but you still have to be doing a lot more. Just like with Chelsea, these the last 2 months. As much as I understand what's going on and I try and give a bit of excuses for Maresca, you still have to be doing more. However, with Maresca, what do I expect with a guy that's only been managing for a year? That's the same way with Arsenal when Arsenal were a few years ago when they were eighth back to back. What do you expect with a rookie? He shouldn't be at this job. With all due respect to him, he shouldn't be here. And that's why I don't blame Maresca now. You shouldn't be here in the first place. So I'm going to look at people who appointed you.
I hear it. But Mike, what did you think of the
Also,
game
our
and
best. Oh,
performance?
sorry. I just want to say our best center back is balling at Juve. Vega. That is
Bro,
someone.
you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, bro.
That's
Renato Vega. I did a watch along for the Derby d'Italia, bro. Right? This man locked up both Lautaro and Taremi and flipping Thuram in that game.
Well, to be fair, Lautaro and is a bomb, but whatever. Vega,
But still, he got the man of the match in that game, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure he did.
Maybe, I don't know. But Vega is someone who I said back in the summer, play him at center back over Colwell. We played Colwell all season, and Vega was getting microwave minutes at left back and in midfield. I told people
microwave minutes.
I wanted to say something else, but regardless,
I'm glad you did. I'm actually reading this chat from Zia because we all know why Zia is put in this chat. He's not defending Kunko. We know why he's doing it.
Vega is our best center back.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not flip flopping. I wanted Vega starting over for Colwell back in the summer. Colwell's not good. At least for fun,
Look up here.
right? At least he has the recovery pace. Even though the guy's been shot with injuries and he still has recovery pace. Colwell has nothing barring ball playing ability, and even that is gone now. Because I think in a couple of games though, you literally gave an assist to a team. You passed the ball to them. So, like, what do you have for me now? Nothing. You're like the opposite. You're basically Declan Rice, bro. You give me nothing, bro.
Crazy. But big up to Weir says Palmer created chances. Yeah, Salah has goals and assists, and you want to protect Palmer because his chances don't get converted. I think.
No one's protecting Palmer. Palmer's been asked for 2 months. Chelsea fans won't speak on that though, but I've been speaking on it since he's been performing badly.
Okay. He says it says Enzo done nothing for 2 years and y'all glaze him.
Not me. I've never rated Enzo. Didn't want him at Chelsea.
I know. I'm not saying he's world class, but let's be real. He had a good start to the season. He was looking like one of your best players.
He did not have Omar. You don't watch Chelsea then. He did not have a good start to the season.
I mean, I won't watch it. I don't watch it regularly. I'm not gonna sit here and actually say I watch you guys. No.
Omar. Don't get defensive. I'm telling you, he did not have a good start to the season. I'm telling you. He's only had three. He's only had. This is what I'm annoyed because people just, even Chelsea fans don't really watch Chelsea. Enzo's only had 3 good games. Well, now 4 because of the last game. And in those 4 games, he's had protection in midfield. That's why he's looked good. This guy's not built for the Premier League. And I'm annoyed because we spent 100 million on this guy when I said, I've been saying since 2021 summer, go get me Sandro Tonali. And we spent 100 million on Enzo because of a World Cup.
Bro, that deal never made sense to me because he'd only been at Benfica for like 6 months, and then you guys were already trying to put all the bag on.
Yeah, Messi frauded a Fugazi World Cup, and people wanted to spend 100 million on Enzo Fernandez.
Trays, bro. Woo.
No, I don't care. Fuck Messi.
That's how you know. That's how you know Prime has had enough, man. That's how you know.
No. I meant what I said. Fuck Messi.
Yeah, man. Listen, man. We know, man. What Nigeria? Last few times Nigeria have been in the World Cup. Yeesh. Messi has not given you a good time.
No, it's not. It's not a Nigerian thing.
He runs Nigeria ragged, bro.
It's not, bro. That's not even a Nigerian thing. Fuck Messi, though. Listen, people. Okay, not the guy people think that he is, bro.
We're up to weird.
Come on, Messi.
Hey, listen. Whatever, man.
What are you doing?
Nonsense. The last game for France, Nkunku played calm. Yeah, he plays as an attacking midfielder. Yeah, he can. But yeah, I mean, listen. I just feel like he
go back to France then.
Who let Felix go? Blame Baldy. I'm not gonna lie, bro. What would Felix change in this team? Would he have changed anything if he was in the team, Prime?
I don't know. Be real. Well, he'd be a better option than Nkunku, to be fair. But even
as an attacker, I guess.
Even Felix is not good.
So it's talking about Palmer Jackson chemistry, and you make Nkunku the scapegoat, despite not making Jackson accountable for disappearing since the 4-3 win versus over Spurs. I think that's for you, Palmer.
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
I think he's basically saying that you're giving Jackson his flowers, I guess, at the start of the season, but with Nkunku, right? Because he is not at a good season. It's easy to just kind of go off on him and not really put as much criticism on guys like Palmer, even though they're not playing well either.
Okay, but I've been criticizing Palmer for 2 months now, and I've been criticizing Jackson when he's played poorly as well. What's your point?
I mean, listen, like this point, I will say this. One thing I will say about this point, right? Can I just say this? One thing I agree with Prime, where when it comes to situations like this, and you're seeing the same mistakes being made over and over, you got to start looking at who is the one that's actually behind.
This comment. Hold on, this comment doesn't make sense. If you're not a Chelsea fan, then stop talking on my club.
Yeah,
Maresca is not the one. Maresca is not the one who forced out Chalobah. Even though Chalobah should be gone, the fact that we recall Chalobah shows that we don't have good centre backs at our club, barring Fofana. Again, Colwell, this generational centre back, you guys told me that he is. You told me he's the regen of Rio. You told me he's the regen of John Terry. You told me he's generational. You told me he's better than Vardio. The guy's not better than Calafiori.
Jeez. What about this point? Zia says, would you? I mean,
no.
I'm sure he's trolling. Would you take Sane at this current team?
No.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Zia is just being his fraudulent self. But Will says Disasi played centre back when he scored an own goal against Leicester. Listen, okay, guys. Make sure you guys let's keep it respectful in the chat, guys. Okay. I respect your opinion. You have to agree with it, but let's not do the whole insulting thing, guys. Okay?
Disasi put in one of the best centre back performances last season where he man-marked Holland. So he's a better centre back than Colwell. I don't care.
I don't remember.
When we drew 1-1 with Man City.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Because I was thinking of the game at the Stamford Bridge.
Colwell can pocket Antonio, bro. I don't care.
No,
he didn't. He literally didn't. We beat you with Antonio against Colwell. Antonio battered him.
Hey, I'm crazy though, right? I'm crazy. Cool.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to this situation, one thing I will say is this, right? One thing you just said that I completely agree with is you got to look at the board. For me, you have to look at the people that run the club, because you know why? They're the ones that make the decision making, right? And every single season for the past, since Bowley has Clearlake and Bowley have been in charge, right? The same problems have been coming up, which is the managerial problem. And if you keep doing this sacking and hiring, eventually you're just gonna have to look at it and say, "Whoa, I'm tired of this whole sacking and hiring thing with zero progress." You understand what I'm saying, right? So, who is the one hiring these managers?
Someone
You
put in the
understand what I'm
chat.
saying?
Someone put in the chat. Man, Martin Holland is not a flex. Then why can't your generational centre back Cole do that?
I think on your point, Omar, I think you have to look at the majority of the people that run football clubs nowadays, and they clearly they see it as a cash cow for them. They don't look at it from an actual sporting perspective. They seem to chuck money at the situation and think that's going to solve all the problems. But it's a lot more. I don't know what word I'm looking for here, but it's a lot more in depth. Huh?
Deeper, yeah. I was about to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
Exactly.
yo,
It goes a lot deeper than that. Pause. But it's you have to look. I feel like it's not just for Chelsea as well. You have to look at it for a lot of English clubs that are being owned by a lot of American companies. People like Manchester United, owned by the Glazers and Ineos. You look at Arsenal, owned by the Cronkies. You look at Liverpool, owned by FSG.
Yeah.
They see it as a cash cow. They don't look at the impact it has on fans like us.
Clubs. You see, let me tell you something.
It's all about franchising for them. That's all it's been about.
Bro, you know why? But you know why that is, Mike? Because look at the way sports is run here in the US, right?
Yeah.
Like you look at football, basketball, even like MLS, right? Like over here, it's like when you watch the NBA, you see like every season is like drafts and trades and stuff like that. In the NFL, it's the same thing. They try to do something. They think that they try to have that same kind of business mindset in football, which is not the same. There's no such thing as trades, right? You got to actually invest in these clubs, right? And look, here's the thing, Prime. I don't know if you agree with this point. I think that when it comes to Todd Bowley, I can't really blame Bowley. The only thing I can blame Bowley is this. I can't blame Bowley because Bowley is spending money. Now, is he spending it wisely? He's not. You understand what I'm saying, right? However, he has been putting the money in the club. The problem is he's giving money to the people he's giving the money to are wasting it. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, as much as I have to say, bro, Bowley for me is the least of the problems. He's one of those people where I'm like, listen, well, he's investing. It's just that he needs to make sure to bring the right footballing people in the club. Prime, you're muted. I can't hear you.
Why do you keep mentioning Bowley?
No, because I feel like a lot of people, Bowley gets a lot of stick. Not from you, but Bowley gets a lot of stick.
No, you're mentioning again. That's why I keep saying people don't actually know what's going on. It's not Bowley. Bowley's not been in charge of things since I think the January or when they signed us. When is that? 2022?
Yeah, 2023, yeah.
They've not, or 2023. Yeah. He's not been in charge of things. It's Bowley who's in charge. So people keep saying the American owners. It's not the American guy. It's not Bowley that's in charge. It's like Bowley, and he has these sporting directors in place. When Stanley and Stewart, who are just bums, bro.
It's also worth putting out there, that the American owners we're talking about, they see the big clubs, for example, the ones that go to the big clubs, they're obviously going to try and franchise that up. But you also get the American owners that own like a Bournemouth or a Sunderland, for example, that are trying to build up from the bottom. So it's not just a nation thing, but it's a case of if you're already going to across the big name, for example, they're obviously going to try and franchise it up and up the branding. Because they're already a brand altogether. But like a Bournemouth, they've got a really, really good American owner, Bill Foley. Sunderland have got a really good American owner.
Who are you talking about?
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with. Again, the money that we're spending and stuff, like them trying to get bigger and better sponsorships and increase the brand of Chelsea. That's fine. I'm good with that. But you can only increase our brand if we're actually successful on the field.
Yeah.
Again, Jordan has been wanting to sign. We don't have a front of shirt sponsor, right? The reason why we don't have one is because we want Jordan. Jordan won't sign with us unless we're in the Champions League. We haven't been in the Champions League for 2 years. And it looks like we're not going to make it for next season. So this is why I keep saying, like, if we just start doing well on the pitch, everything else fixes itself around.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a good point to Ravi's question. I think that, like I said, right, I think that it needs to start from the top. I think that they need to bring new people in the top who actually change stuff, right, in the sporting department, sporting directors department and areas like that, right? People that basically hire the managers, the scouts, and all this. And also, let's be clear, also, Prime, right? This obsession that this current regime that you guys have, right, in trying to do the potential FC. I'm like, potential FC is for clubs like Dortmund. This is Chelsea Football Club where you should be trying to win now. So you have to buy players that are, they have a future, but also they can perform now. And the issue is, you guys are trying to buy these players, hoping that they will all become great and putting them to death row contracts. And it makes no sense. You guys keep doing it every single season, right? You're not actually going out there to buy players where you're like, this guy comes in, instantly the pressure is on him. You understand what I'm saying, right? They're just trying to do this thing where they're buying players and be like, well, he was doing well here and, he was doing well there. And who knows? Maybe if he comes in Chelsea, he can become a top player over here. It's ridiculous. You understand what I'm saying?
For the sake of it.
And that's the problem. They need to, at the end of the day, Chelsea at their best, we're always trying to buy players who would help them challenge for the league, challenge for Europe every season. You understand what I'm saying, right? Now, that doesn't mean they would always go out and buy players who are, how do I put it, who are like old. They're buying players, they can buy players who are younger. Like, when they bought Hazard, right? Hazard was 20 years old when they bought him? But Hazard was a name. He was linked to every big club at the time, and they got it done. You understand what I'm saying, right? But this idea, like buying Esteval, who I rate very highly, right? But Esteval is in Brazil. We don't know how long Esteval is going to take before he actually clambers into life in Europe. You understand what I'm saying, right? Trying to buying players like Desassi and Gabadiachil, right? And all these players, right, who had potential, they could have been great. But at the end of the day, the thing with potential is sometimes players don't reach their potential. It's that simple, right? Chelsea need to start doing this and actually go and actually say, listen, we need a new center back. Let's go and actually buy a top center back. Let's go and buy a top center back, like the old Chelsea would. Let's try and go and get Araujo from Barca. Hopefully you guys don't. But that's the point I'm making, right?
We're not Araujo, but that's
the kind of move. But the point I'm making is
that's
the kind of move that Chelsea would make. They'll be trying to inquire because right now he has a buyout clause. I'm saying it now. Everyone knows, right? But he has a buyout clause that is active till the January transfer. In the summer transfer window, where he can go for 60 million. Do you understand what I'm saying? 65 million.
Yeah,
Chelsea
I know.
Would be looking at them saying, "Listen."
But it's not about being Chelsea of old, because even how we were around near towards the end of Roman was horrible. But in terms of like this young model, we're not even necessarily buying this like the best young players.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I don't know. Like again, I don't even mind if you want to buy young for potential, but you definitely need experience in the squad. And if you're not going to have experience in the squad, then you need an experienced manager. That's why I said in the summer, go get me Sarri. He's an experienced manager. He knows how to develop and coach young players.
You want Sarri back?
Yeah, I love Sarri.
I know Prime rates Sarri very highly. Don't worry.
And again, I'm talking about who else is out there. I'm not getting.
You're right.
I'm not getting
I hear you.
Ancelotti. I'm not getting Conte or whoever. Like, get me an experienced man. If we're going to do this young player thing, that's fine. Get me an experienced manager that's actually proven at coaching and developing young players.
You've got to match up your managerial appointment with the quality, with the type of player that you bring in. Simple as that.
And that's why it also goes back to squad planning, because it doesn't make sense to me to go from Graham Potter to Pochettino to Maresca. That doesn't make sense stylistically.
Bro, that's the thing.
That also shows the planning of the squad, because you have a player like Gusto who's brilliant as a touchline fullback, and this season he's being forced to play as an inverted 10. That doesn't make sense to me planning wise, does it? But when I was saying this back in November, Chelsea fans were telling me that, no, I'm wrong. You have a brilliant squad. You have 2 squads. You have the best attack in the league. Yada, yada, yada. Now people want to cry and complain because we've lost a few games.
Now, I hear it. Big up to the chat, man. This chat is very active. Big up to Jordan every single time, bro. Big up to you. I don't know if it's the same Jordan that is on Football Carnage and on the United States of
anyone
America.
has to say about Chelsea or not? Because I might go.
No. So yeah. I was Mike. So do you have anything you actually wanted to add into perspective? You wanted to add?
Yeah. So obviously, I had some stuff to move around. So I had the game in the background, and I've got to watch the second half properly. And for me, like, I don't even know what to call it when it comes to Chelsea. Chelsea is so hard to like describe at times because like you always go in waves of form. But I feel like a lot of the issues were called out beforehand. Like I've been done shows with Prime for weeks now. We've been talking about the same thing for weeks. I've been done shows like when I've done shows with Alfield, we've been talking about the same things with Arsenal, same things with Chelsea, with Prime. Like I feel like bad squad planning. Like I only heard like glimmers and only like a small group of people really calling out the sporting directors and the people above in the summer. And don't get me wrong, it usually the people that I would usually watch anyway. But I feel like it's become a big issue now. And I feel like if it's become such a big issue now, did you rate your squad in the first place or was you wrong? My whole thing is a lot of like, I thought Chelsea were trying the whole 2 players in each position competition sort of thing. But when you really look at it, I was also concerned about like, not concerned, but like if Jackson was to get injured, who would they play up front sort of thing? And they could force Nkunku there, João Felix there, etc. But also when and people don't like to talk about this enough, but you know when the manager signs new players, is if you're not seeing them start at least a couple of times when they first start the season or when they first signed, it's still got to raise a concern because people could talk about the settling in process, but it happens a lot with new signings where, for example, João Felix, I barely saw him throughout the season, so clearly the manager didn't like him anyway. But it was kind of inevitable that he was going to move, and it kind of says all you need to know about that signing. But half of their signings were linked to with a move away back in January because of lack of rotation minutes, and they were only being used as Conference League players. And I feel like that the reason why we praise that so much is because at the start it was all going well. Chelsea went on a big unbeaten run up until like the Fulham game, from the Liverpool game, etc. And for me, it was a good run, and it was all going well at the time. But you really saw it throughout the Christmas period what Chelsea's level really is. And the reason why I say that is because when we were talking about the whole title race thing at the time, we were talking about where can Chelsea really get to and stuff like that. And the reason why I said February, funny enough, around this time would have been where, like, if Chelsea had kept their form up now, I'd be saying they're in the title race now. And the Christmas period kind of shows where you are, which shows how strong your squad really is, because it strangled the shit out of Chelsea squad. And a lot of Chelsea fans, not Prime, but a lot of Chelsea fans were like, we could win every game here, you know, the Fulhams, the Ipswiches, the Evertons, and they failed to beat all of them. They failed to beat quite a lot of teams. Now the full form table is kind of flipped, where it's like 1 in 10 or what, or 2, 3 in 10 or whatever. Like they haven't won games in a while. Yeah, 2 in 10. And to be honest with you, I watched the Championship, so I'm going to bring up this point. Last year, with him as a Leicester manager, this exact thing happened. Because
around the end of the season,
around January, February to May, this happened. But the reason why Maresca never got punished for it, Leeds, Southampton, and Ipswich were all on the same form. So they were all kind of just competing with each other. Leicester were like 15 points ahead, very comfortable or whatever. But because they kept losing and other teams kept winning, it became some form of a title race in the back end of the Championship. And there was a similar thing from the start of the season to the back end of the season when it came to squad planning. Dewsbury Hall was playing well. Vardy, Fatawu, Mavadidi were all playing well. Ricardo Pereira was playing well. Harry Winks was playing well, etc. But when it came down to, because the Championship is a lot of games anyway, it's pretty much like it's pretty much like every team's playing in Europe because there's more teams to play. You've got to play Tuesday, Saturday most weeks. And when we were looking at that squad on the back end of Leicester, they were losing to teams like Plymouth, battling relegation and stuff like that as well. That was their Ipswich-Chelsea kind of game, the equivalent. When Chelsea lost to Ipswich, he already kind of went through that last season when he lost to Plymouth. This guy doesn't do well in them kind of away games where he'll get run over by the more physical teams. And going back to the question way earlier in the stream about him and Postecoglou, it's very similar traits, because when he comes up against these teams that set up in a tight, when your tactic is gonna get figured out, and he sets up a bit more organized, he doesn't have a plan B. He has a plan B in terms of positionally, where am I going to fit the players? But it's the same shape, it's the same tactics, it's the same instructions throughout the whole time, throughout every bit of 90 minutes. And that's what Maresca is suffering with. That's why I didn't want to hype up any player or any manager too much. That's why when last year when people were talking to me, is Cole Palmer world class? One season. I like Cole Palmer. I think he's a good player, but he needs to be rightfully criticised for his bad form, as Prime has been doing. Someone like I don't think any of their centre backs I really rate, to be honest with you. I think all the centre backs have their level, but I've been saying, apart from Fofana since the summer, that none of their centre backs are that physically imposing. And that's what you mainly got to look at for me. No matter what style of play you got to have physically imposing centre backs, and they don't. And they don't. Simple as that. Apart from Fofana, like, they've got to stop hanging on to players that. I think like the idea of a lot of these players are good, but the actual expectation and the actual the actual application of these players is not working. Someone like a Reece James, for example, could be world class if he stayed fit. He's not going to stay fit. I know he's playing right now, but it's going to be only a matter of time before he picks up another knock and they have to ease him back in. In fact, they're still managing his minutes now. He's a very good player. He could be one of the better fullbacks in the league and of all time in general in the Prem. The Prem of all time, but he's not going to stay fit. Enzo Fernandez is an idea. The reason why I say that is because Enzo Fernandez will do well on his day. He's an on his day type player. There's only so many times where you can look at a player and be like, the amount of managers you've gone through, the amount of teams you've gone through. Now, it's been 2 years since you signed, where we can stop making excuses for you as neutrals. Caicedo is showing his quality. I know he's played in the Premier League before he went to Chelsea, but Caicedo has shown his quality consistently. No matter when Chelsea have been good and when Chelsea have been bad, Caicedo has shown his consistency compared to Enzo Fernandez. So a lot of these players are good ideas, but when you have a lot of good ideas and they're all playing together, they're not going to work because they're all trying to grow together, and you can't have that when you have a lack of leaders. Chelsea don't have any leaders. Since Thiago Silva left, the whole leadership thing's gone. I don't know who their
they don't have any leaders in the back. That's true.
Only on the pitch is some form of a leader, and he doesn't play. So there you go.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, everything that you mentioned in that point is absolutely true, especially the leader part. For me, I've said it before, man, like, you can't buy, like, if you center is in defense, you always need to have that one guy who is the galvanizer of the back, right?
Yeah.
You remember when they signed this guy? He was 37 when they signed him, right? Everyone thought, yeah, he was gonna have one season where he was gonna flop in the league, and then that was it. But that season they won the Champions League, and Thiago Silva actually ended up becoming one of their best players, right? When he left. Like, there was some fans that actually didn't wanted him to stay. That shows you how good he is, how integral he was. He wasn't just a good center back. He was also a very good leader, which was very important, right? And unfortunately, they haven't replaced that.
You know what they should have done? Like, I think last season they should have done this. Thiago Silva was clearly like draining out a little bit, but he's still showing his quality as a squad player. So they should have signed a proper experience, like a proper centre back that can gain experience, that has the potential to be like not world class but great and is a good reader of the game, and have Thiago Silva in the squad to be like his mentor sort of thing. They have Cole there. Levi Cole was not that. Chalobah's not that. Like, even Fofana, he's a good centre back. He's a very good centre back on his day, but a lot of injuries, and he's not that either. They don't have anyone to learn off when these young players come through. When you want to bring young players through, you've got to have the experience there existing already. Like, that's why Barcelona and Real Madrid, when they have young players, they already have the experience that they can learn from. So that's why Tchouaméni and Camavinga, we don't talk about their age. We don't talk about Yamal's age of how good he is. We don't talk about their age. We're not talking about it. Even Man City. We're not talking. When Phil Foden was doing well, we weren't talking about his age. When Erling Haaland's doing well, we're not talking about his age because they're around experience. And you need to have the balance of youth and experience. If your squad's old, bring some young, exciting players through that they can learn from. If your squad is really young, bring some experience through. Keep the balance. It's not about it's not about going in any sort of form of direction when it comes to recruitment. Nobody should be only signing old or young players. It's not about only signing a certain group of age unless you already have an old or young squad.
Thing, man. It has to be a blend. This is why even at Barcelona, I have the same issue where I'm like, a lot of Barca fans are saying, "Oh, but Omar, we're dealing with the young players. Like we have so many good players coming up and all this." I'm like, bro, that's fine. I'm all for La Masia and the growth of La Masia, the players coming out of, like, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful story. But bro, we can't just rely on just the academy. Like, we need to sign players in certain positions. Some of the best players in the world are certain positions. That's what the problem we have in this season. That's why we're so inconsistent. But listen, I do want to move on from the Chelsea one, and let's actually talk about another one: Liverpool versus Manchester City. Over 10 years, guys. 10 years ago was the last time Liverpool beat Manchester City at the Etihad, which is ironic because that was club's first game against City at the Etihad, and he beat them 4-1.
Yeah, I remember that game.
And
Skirt scored a screamer.
Yeah, and Firmino, I think, Firmino scored as well. I remember.
Skirt scored a banger that game. I remember.
Facts. And on Arne Slot's debut at the Etihad, he also leaves the stadium with a win.
Mm-hmm.
But before we do get into what I want to get into with Liverpool, we need to talk about City first. Let's talk about City. Now, I knew that City were having a poor season. I knew that this City team was done out here.
Mm-hmm.
But am I Zia, it's my sister is in the living room. She's got her TV on. I hope it's not too loud. It's not distracting.
It's not too loud. It's not too loud.
Okay, good. All right. Anyway, basically the point I'm making is when it comes to Manchester City, Manchester City. I don't know, man. I'm getting to a point where I'm like, okay, I understand that the team is not good enough. They need to get rid of a lot of these bums that they have in this team. But, bro, what is going on with Pep Guardiola this season? Is this more of the team is not good enough?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. Oh, sorry. I'm not heard this.
Anyways, the point I'm making is,
Mike, you click that.
Is this a Pep? Yeah, you just know, man. He's there. But when it comes to Pep, right? Do you guys think that it's not just? Do you feel like it's the squad that's just not good enough, and that if he gets if he gets new players next season, things will improve, or is there a deeper meaning to this? Because I'm beginning to think that when it comes to Pep, I feel like people are beginning to suss him out. I feel like people are beginning to figure how to play against him. Now, I don't know if that is just on him, the way he's performing, or is it that just that the team is just terrible?
I disagree. Still,
you think it's? I mean, I know. Listen, don't get it twisted. I know that this team is done, but here's the thing. You see, the one thing I criticized Arteta for, where I said Arteta's arrogance, right, in the transfer window for not going out and buying a striker, is why it is on him. How is this arrogance where he thought that he could make players like Havertz, players like flipping Sterling, and all these players look good. His arrogance in his management, his belief that he can he can make chicken salad out of chicken shit or turn water into wine, right? It's the reason why Arsenal are where they are. I'm sorry, I have to keep the same energy. I think that when it comes to Pep, we need to point the finger at Pep this season for why they are as bad as they are. Because this man, because for the past 2 seasons, City have been slowly losing some of their key players, and some of their key players have also been aging. And they've kept some of these players who, let's be real, their heads have been out of this team for a while, right? And buying players in certain players who don't fit the system, right? And his arrogance to bring certain players who had already left the club, i.e. Gundogan, right, back into the team, when it's very clear now, looking at him this season, that Barcelona clearly saw that this guy wasn't going to be reliable for us this season. That's why we were happy to get rid of him for free, right? This I have to point on this case. I have to look at Pep Guardiola just like I looked at Arteta. Guardiola, I'm sorry, he has to take blame for it. I feel like his arrogance is the reason why City are where they are this season and why they're performing this season, because they went on a 4P for the past few years.
Yeah,
You talk
like
to me,
I kind of agree and don't agree. This I agree with you. It's complacency and arrogance. I don't think he's been sussed out, but it's definitely complacency, because City are complacent in general. City will go off. I don't think this is a good way to go off, but to be fair, it's worked. They go off what other teams are doing. They know Liverpool and Arsenal or the teams around them don't invest, and they don't invest and whatever, like to the extent that they should. So they feel like even though they know the squad that they have needs to be rebuilt. We even saw that from last season, like the likes of the Kyle Walkers, etc. Like they were still complacent in the fact that, okay, we're going to bring Gundogan back because it's an opportunity sort of thing. We've already got Kovacic that replaced him, but we've also got Gundogan, so we can have both midfielders. Cool, that hasn't worked. Gundogan's been terrible. That's why they signed the Marmoush, Kusanov, Reece, and Gonzalez, etc. Like in January, because they are now being proactive because they're like, oh shit, we're really, really not as good as we thought we were. I don't think Pep has been sussed out tactically, but the problem is the complacency of the squad building has showed on the pitch, because the likes of Kovacic, not a City player. Not a City player when he plays in a 6 or an 8. He's decent when he can play next to a 6, but when he's playing lone 6, this guy is a fish out of water. He's just not that kind of player, etc. Gundogan's been terrible. Phil Foden is a big player, hasn't risen this season. I think it's a bit too reactionary in some of the takes from Pep some of the takes on Pep that like he's never going to do anything again, or this is the start of the City like downfall or whatever. Like, I just think if this is the same recurring thing next season and they don't rebuild properly, cool, we can say that. But they've won 4 in a row, and if this is their like that downward split, they've just gone very stale.
Basically, a cool down season.
Yeah. They've just been heavily complacent with the squad building. I think Pep does need to take a lot of responsibility though. With this is my biggest criticism of Pep this season is squad management. Now I talk about this a lot with Arteta and whoever. It's, for example, City never have a fit back 4 because of the amount of games they play, but that's because of Pep. Because Ake and Stones are injury prone, but they are 2 of the better defenders, so they need to be managed properly. But also that comes from the top of not demanding more centre-backs in the summer. Now you've got Kusanov and Reece, you can do that, but if you are still mismanaging centre-backs when you have new signings there, I get you like to bed in new signings and all that, but you don't have the time to be using all this patience nonsense. You got to play these players straight away. You got to sign players for now because you are City, but also because you have injuries. So the likes of Stones and Ake need to be rested more. Ruben Diaz is starting to pick up way more injuries than usual. Same with the Kanji. So all of these 4 players have never really played together over the past few months because Pep has mismanaged them and ran them into the ground. And to be honest with you, he's had options there, so he doesn't really have any excuses. But also, a lot of the players that have come in, have played in certain games, aren't the level. Rico Lewis has showed himself to not be at the level when being a regular starter. Same as Kovacic. Yes, he's been playing out of position, but it's the same with him. Gundogan is fried. Foden has not risen. Haaland has not been in games when he's been given the ball, and he's become predictable to play against. Centre backs have tried their best to set up against him at times. And Haaland is still going to score goals no matter what. But at the same time, people are still going to set up for Haaland because they've been trying year upon year to set up in different ways against him. As mentioned, Bernardo Silva has completely fallen off, but he's been falling off for the past 18 months. A lot of these players have fallen off since the Champions League.
To leave. Let's be real.
Yeah, Bernardo Silva always wants to leave. Bernardo Silva always wants to leave, but no one's ever going to come in for him now at this time. But he's going to have to leave in the summer. He's not the level anymore.
He wanted to join. Let's be clear. He wanted to join us for a while, but I feel like now, especially how bad he's been this season and how good we've been doing. Yeah,
he's not going to get his move, but he's a product of a lot of the players at City that have completely dropped off since that treble season, because a lot of players have given their all and they don't know where to go from here. They don't know because they've won the treble. They feel like they've completed their career at Manchester City specifically, not their whole career, but specifically Manchester City. That's how they're playing, because their quality is not coming out. Like John Stones has still got the quality, but he doesn't stay fit. and it doesn't help when Pep overplaying him. Ruben Diaz, as I said, picked up a lot more injuries, but a lot of these midfielders, that their whole midfield needs to be rebuilt because De Bruyne's done physically. The guy's been playing with an injury for 18 months to 2 years. Can he show some quality at times? Yes, but he's done. Gundogan has done. A lot of these players have come to the end, and what they're failing to do with what they used to be very good at is rebuilding their squad. And Pep has become the face of rebuilding at when striking while the iron's hot. He's even talked about in many interviews when he had to switch from the Sane Sterling team to the next team when they were winning in lockdown, etc. When he had to switch it up from David Silva and the Yaya Torres and get the old crop out, the Vincent companies. He had to strike when the iron's hot and replace company with Ruben Diaz in lockdown and rebuild from there. And then they focus more on the defensive side throughout that lockdown season, like the games against PSG in the Champions League in lockdown. That's when people finally saw that they were focusing more on defending more, because it's been coming. It wasn't just a treble season where they were focusing on defending. Diaz is not your traditional City centre-back. He's good on the ball, but he's not known for being good on the ball. He's known for defending. Put his body on the line. They're signing different type of players because Pep is constantly trying to adjust. But what he's failed to do is get rid of, strike when the iron's hot with the likes of Kyle Walker, because he's become so trustworthy over the years. So it's taken him too long to do that. Same with Gundogan, brought him back. And it's looking like the same with De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva as well. So what Pep needs to do is do what he usually does. Keep rebuilding. And I think they will. And I do think they will recruit well in the summer, because Kusanov looks like a good player. Gonzalez looks like a good player. Marmoush looks like a good player. We'll see with the Reece guy soon. But the more, I think they'll sign properly. They've got a good recruitment team. They've got a new sporting director, and I think they'll invest more in the summer. Do I think they'll win the league next year? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when it comes to it. It's too early. We're not even at the end of this season, let alone next season. So there's no point predicting that. However, I think if they rebuild next season, they'll be back to title challenging minimum. Because if they're not, then we can start talking about, has Pep completely fallen off with this Man City's team and he's become at the end of his cycle. But I don't think he's been found out, but I think he needs to be criticised for his man management skills specifically, because that's what's become the whole complacency thing from top to bottom from Man City.
All right, completely hear it. Alfie, do you have anything you wanted to add to what Mike said?
I completely agree with everything that you said. You look at this Manchester City team now, and you can definitely kind of say that it is a type of passing of the torch situation in terms of a lot of players in that squad. I feel like, obviously, we know this season it doesn't look like Manchester City are going to go on and win anything apart from the FA Cup, but we'll have to wait and see how they do in that. But I feel like this season is going to, for the rest of this season, it's going to be a case of Pep looking at the squad, realizing what players need to go, where he needs to bring in new players in those areas, and then going on next season, pushing on again, winning the league or pushing for the league. And just like Mike said then, it's only if next season comes along and they don't look like title challenging City, then we can start pointing the finger at Pep. But for now, I think it's just a case of getting a lot of the older, more experienced players out and getting more newer players into the team and trying to rebuild.
I hear it. Prime, do you want to add to the point about City and Pep?
Yeah, for anyone who's done, I think that's ridiculous. I don't know. I know City have been bad this year, but the way I see people talk about City and talk about Pep, people have a few months ago that people still had fear he would come out of this rut and go on a 20-game unbeaten run.
Sure.
People forget who Man City are, man. They won a 4-peat in they've earned their respect, bro. Let's stop pretending that they're not a big club. But yeah, Mike's was right about how they haven't, the past few seasons, they haven't strengthened like they would have. Because when you look at their closest challenger being Arsenal and Liverpool, who they themselves haven't really strengthened over the past few years. Liverpool haven't really spent money. Arsenal, you spent money, but it's been on Declan Rice and Havertz mainly. Sorry, I had to do that Declan Rice thing. No, but yeah, Arsenal not spending money correctly. Liverpool not spending money at all, really. It means City have been able to kind of get away with not spending money since I think the Grealish transfer, the Haaland transfer,
Yeah.
which is a few years. So yeah, I think this season is actually probably a good thing because if Rodri didn't get injured, Rodri would have saved them a lot of points this season, and they probably would have been able to mask over the poor form from the first half, and then maybe call themselves back into the title race, and then win the league again. So I think they need this fall off to expand or players like they need to leave, like Carl Walker, etc. Bernardo Silva needing to be moved on when he should have been moved on probably a few years ago when he wanted to leave. Yep. KDB, is he past it? This season has shown how good really is Foden. Is he someone to build your midfield around, or is he just someone to be a cog? A Bernardo Silva type. He can be.
I hear it. That's a good point.
Kind of like what Odegaard is. Odegaard, he's a very good player, technical footballer, but Odegaard, in my opinion, and you see it when he plays. But yeah, with City, it'll be fine. They'll spend again on the right players, the right profiles. Like next season, we say we don't know. We all know City will be our favorites to win the league.
Yeah, they'll probably be back next season for sure.
Yeah, because Salah's probably gone, Trent's probably gone, like
Alisson.
Yep.
Rashford, like City will probably, if they spend correctly, they'll probably win the league. You know. So yeah,
I mean, City have done this before as well. I mean, all you've got to do is take a look at the 1920 season. They were nowhere near the juggernaut of Manchester City in that season. Liverpool obviously ran away with the league. But then the next season, they came back, won the league, and all of a sudden they've won 4 league titles in a row. So it's not like they haven't got the ability to get themselves kick-started again. So they just need they're just on vacation at the moment.
People who like, we saw when that happened last time. City went on to do a 4P and they won their first Champions League. I'm just gonna say, like, the way the Premier League has been treating City, this 1-1-5 stuff. Listen, if City come out, Man City, leave them alone. Stop scaring them. You didn't want to see them do 4P, did you? Don't make them do a quad, man.
This is the thing, like what Alfie was referring to as well, the 1920 season. It's like an even worse version of, well, not, it's like an even bigger job for what they had to do. Like when I referred to the Ruben Diaz thing, when Vincent Kompany left in 1819, they didn't replace him. Yeah. They got injury to Laporte, so they had to get a Ruben Diaz. They had to get a certain profiles in to rebuild and go again, to transform their team. It's just that they have to do that, but 10 times more for this season. That's the difference between then and now. And we've seen, as Alfie said, City, when they need to, they'll do it again. And that's what they're going to do.
Just on vacation right now.
Yeah, for sure. But listen, I feel like we spend a lot of time with City, but I do want to ask something, Prime. I wanted to ask about Liverpool.
Sorry, can I just say, because I want to get on to Liverpool. And let me just say this. Liverpool, like, we know, like, Trent is going, Salah's probably gone, Van Dijk, like, his going on with that. Alisson has 1 year left. But to recruit correctly, Liverpool have a world-class tactician in Slot. Pep is that troubling. Because at least with Klopp, you had that high pressing, we're just going to attack. The way Klopp was playing burnt out his team towards the end of the season. That's why they didn't win as much. But with Slot and how calculated he is, hey, Pep next year, man. We saw what happened last time he faced a tactician, Jose, La Liga. When he faced a tactician in Conte, Listen, we know what you are, Pep. We know what you are, man.
Leave him alone, man. He's going through a divorce right now, for God's sake.
Get a new woman.
He's going through a divorce. Hey,
Yeah,
no one
yeah,
cares,
yeah.
bro. To quote
Nah.
Lee Thunder.
You guys are jokers. But yeah, listen, as far as Liverpool is concerned, man, I mean, listen, it's their league to lose at this point. Let's be clear, man. Like, honestly, I don't feel like everyone else in the league is consistent. Like, everybody is terrible.
Except
Everyone
Arsenal.
is terrible. Right? Let's be real. So yeah, man. I mean, listen, I don't want to put too much I don't really want to spend too much time on the Liverpool point because we only have one more thing to talk about, and we'll close out. But I mean, listen, I would want to give credit to Arne Slot, man. It's crazy, right? Manager just comes in his first season and could be potentially winning the league. When Mikel Arteta has been here and trusting the process for 5 years and 0 to the league. Oh,
No, Omar, you're taking the piss.
Arsenal.
What phase is Slot in? How much is he spent?
Oh, God.
What phase is Slot in?
Slut face.
Anyways, yeah, do you guys have anything you want to say about
Hey,
Andy Slot and Liverpool
Alfie.
before we do move on to the United game?
Alfie, I know a lot of Arsenal fans are going to want to hear this. Connor was right. Connor was right.
But this is the thing with
Oh, we still have
Liverpool,
to talk
yeah.
about Man United.
Go ahead, Mike.
This is the thing with Liverpool, yeah, is
Bro, no one cares,
I
man. No one cares about United.
I prime you're lagging like 30 seconds behind, fam.
I know, right?
But this is the
Go
thing
ahead.
with what's it called with
Liverpool.
Liverpool. I remember saying on the early True Ballers episode that it's whether they can like run it until this part, and if they sign no one, can their squad carry on? And I feel like you're kind of seeing them do that, like still fizzle out sort of thing. But it doesn't matter because from like the Forest game, if you guys remember when they drew to Forest 10 weeks ago, like it's like I think it was like 4 or 5 weeks ago, when they drew to Nottingham Forest away, that's when they kind of started drawing a lot more games, like and stuff like that. That's when they drew to Everton and Villa and stuff like that as well. But again, it doesn't matter because no one's capitalizing. Like the same way when City fell off, they were the ones capitalizing on them. So even though they're playing like Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones on the wing now, but it doesn't matter. Because even though their attack is faltering, Jota isn't playing well. Núñez is definitely not playing well. He's beating himself. Luis Diaz isn't playing well.
Injured.
Yeah, Gakpo's injured. Gakpo's been their second best attacker. He's been amazing. Been one of the better left wingers this season. Done really well under Slot. Robertson is not really been at his best for the past couple of years. And Trent can get skinned at times. And they still don't have a natural number 6. Gravenberch is still doing a good job there. And we can make so many excuses for Liverpool and they're first, but we're not going to make excuses because they are first. They're doing their job. They didn't spend any money they should have spent, but they still should have spent money. It doesn't mean they still shouldn't have spent money because they could have been even more clear. They need to spend money next season because if they don't, I don't see them winning the league 2 years in a row. But they've won the league. Like I'm not trying to take the piss, but they've won the league by just a lack of rebuilding, by just being themselves. It's not just tweaking it. By tweaking it with a ready-made squad. Like they already have ready-made players. It's not like they have this a youth squad or inexperienced squad or a lack of quality throughout their whole spine. They've got a experienced spine. Gravenberch is still experienced to an extent. He's been in football for a long time. Van Dijk and Konate experienced. Alisson's experienced. Like they're all their attackers are experienced or learning off or the proteges to the older attackers. They're doing their job. They're just doing the basics correct. And Slot is adjusting.
Big up to you, man. Hopefully you're doing good, man. Hope you're doing good.
And this is the thing with Slot. The difference between him and Klopp is, as Prime kind of alluded to, Klopp will go with the same thing. Klopp will do the same thing, but Slot doesn't completely adjust. He'll keep his principles, but he'll slightly tweak it. He'll slightly tweak it depending on how they press and how they set up off the ball. They'll keep the same principles on the ball, and the quality always comes out, and they'll find different ways to attack you. Like that corner today against City, they saw a weakness there that we didn't see. They saw a weakness there that other teams have tried that. Bournemouth, how Bournemouth played against, like how Bournemouth did that corner against Arsenal earlier in the season. They did the same to City. It was a similar like set piece routine, and it was really good. I thought they fucked it for a second, and all of a sudden they cut it to the edge of the box. They score. The likes of Szoboszlai I don't think are good enough. The likes of Nunes I don't think are good enough. But again, doesn't matter. Slot is getting the most out of them. They're doing their job now, and no one.
So what's like to having a class season low key.
He's a moments player. He's kind of wishy-washy. Like he'll give you a good moment. He'll give you a good strike on the ball. He'll have a good game. He'll give you some energy, and he is needed in some games. Don't get me wrong, but just in general, don't think he's the level that people would require of a Liverpool midfielder. Especially, we would be seeing that more and be talking about that more if a Liverpool, an Arsenal, or a Man City were properly competing with them at the top. But to be honest with you, even the players that aren't good enough are still doing better than most people in the league. Robertson hasn't been good enough this season. He started most of the games. It doesn't matter if Robertson hasn't been good enough. He's still doing his job because the system has brought them out of that. And to be honest with you, Slot deserves a lot of credit for that.
No, for sure. Alfield, you have anything you want to say about Liverpool? I know you're basically their closest rivals in the title race, but what do you think of like Arne Slot and Liverpool very quickly?
I think what Arne Slot's done with this Liverpool team is nothing beyond incredible. I think what he's done, he's turned up first season, new league, new team, new set of players, and the fact that he's sitting 11 points clear towards the end of March just goes to show how well he's done. And I was looking at the start of the season back when they played the opening game against Ipswich, and I was watching them, and you could see that even though he was trying to get his style of play across, you could still see the remnants of Klopp's style of play in the team. And I thought that would bode well for Liverpool if they kept that same style of play. And it has bode well because they have been able to switch it up from time to time. And they've got every right to be where they are right now. And fair play to them. And like Paul Merson said, book the open top bus now. They'll get it for a bargain price.
I mean, you guys did that as well. Remember back in the last season, you guys had the Arsenal parade bus. They might as well do that now in February. They might as well do the parade.
For sure. But listen, I do want to finally do one game. Listen, I do want to get into this game because even though, you know, Manchester United were very, very lucky, I don't think that's the one thing we're talking about at the end of the game, right? Obviously, for those of you guys who are wondering, we're talking about the Manchester United versus Everton game.
Everton.
Alfie, is it just me or is your screen frozen? Is it just?
I think it might just be you. Alfie's
okay. All right, cool. You're good. Anyway, yeah. So they might end at 2-2, but let's be real, man. That was one of the most undeserving 2-2s I've seen in a long time. Manchester United got battered pillar to post, and in the end, it ended with a little bit of controversy, guys. Let's start first of all. Let me ask the panel, guys. Did you guys think it was a pen, or you guys think it wasn't a pen? Personally, for me, I think it should have been given.
I think it should have been given because it's not a clear and obvious error. VAR love clear and obvious error. It's not a clear and obvious error to overturn it. You could argue it's a soft pen, but it's not something you go and look at on a screen and overturn. Regardless, though, 90-minute game. You were 2-0 up. No excuses. As I say for everyone.
Oh, yeah. Don't get it twisted. Everton bottled it. I'm not giving, don't get it twisted. People are going to give the credit to Manchester United. Oh, great comeback. No.
Omar, I've got something to say. Do you want to know why they bottled it? Yeah. I'm not even taking the piss. Like, this is
go ahead.
When David Moyes made that sub of Lindstrom to Ashley Young, it was very reminiscent of subs he was making at West Ham at the back end of last season. I remember the same thing happening. We was 1-0 up against Aston Villa last season, and he brought off Mikel Antonio for Ben Johnson to play him on the wing. He did the exact same thing with Ashley Young, bringing off Lindstrom, who wasn't playing bad, and put Ashley Young on the wing, and they decided to sit back. They were doing well in the first half. They were pressing, they were attacking, and Moyes already thought he won the game and thought he already needed to see the game out at 2-0 up.
Right.
And you could never do that in the Premier League. But he always makes subs where he feels like he's got to be cautious straight away. It's the exact same thing he was doing last season for us. That's what he's going to be doing with his game management a lot more. But because people got it, because he's got on a run and the new manager bounce, people are talking about him like rejuvenating Everton. They're in their last season at Goodison Park.
They were in a bad place when he arrived, though.
Yeah, I know, but it's a new manager bounce. It happens all the fucking time. Like, with Moyes, you need, like, when you're in the back end of your last season in your stadium, we had it with Bilic. You've got to have someone that, like, is going to have the team spirit and going to bring up the fans. Moyes is doing that. But when they make that transition to the new stadium, where they've got to pay off everything, they're going to struggle, especially if Moyes keeps making tactical decisions like that. Because they went against Palace. Palace were a better team in that game. There's been games where they've just grinded out results because they're going on a bounce. They feel like they've got their Everton back in the sense of they've got a spirit back. And I get that. But Moyes is still the same manager that he was from last season, where he would have it all going well for him, but then he would fuck it up himself. He would self-destruct. That's why Man United came back. He let Man United back into the game. They were pressing really well in the first half. As soon as Ashley Young came on, they decided to sit back. And then they sat off them, and Man United got into the game themselves. If they had carried on with the same intensity, we'd be talking about a 3-0 game against Man United. They were terrible.
Yep. Bro, that first half, they had zero. Bro, they didn't have a shot in the game until like the 60th minute of the second half.
Yeah.
Like, how do you concede 2 goals when you literally didn't even concede a shot the first hour of the game? Bro, I could not believe how, bro, I was like, yo, when it was 2-0, I thought, yo, we could be seeing a 4-0 here. Like, we could potentially see them get battered. And yeah, you're right. At the end of the day, I don't understand Moises. I would understand it if, let's say, the ship was changing and Manchester United were creating a lot of chances. So now you're like, all right, cool. I don't wanna risk it. You know, these guys are beginning to attack. They're really beginning to give us a lot of problems. All right. Substitutions, but dude, you were in the ascendancy the whole time. You didn't need to change it. That was the most frustrating thing. And listen, I get the penalty was a huge call. It was a huge call, but my goodness gracious me, man, like he has to take blame for that. He needs to take blame for that, Moise, right? Yeah, because you can't be that comfortable in the lead and then make a stupid tactical decision like that. Because that tactical decision now has cost you a lot. That 3 points was crucial. And it was in your hands. So you have no one to blame. But listen, I don't want to talk about United, bro. Yeah. Let's talk about United for 1 second. Mike, do you think that Amorim should take a lot of the blame for this? Because here's the thing, before I let you go. I said this to Flawless when I spoke to him. I was like, this hiring of this manager is very similar to when Liverpool hired Klopp. As in that him coming into the club, he's taking over a team that's not his. So you guys will have a very rocky season. Right? And you're just going to have to pull with the punches, basically. And just affirm it for the rest of the season, and then get rid of all the bums that you don't need in the team, and then bring in your own player. Bring Amorim his own players. Yeah. Here's the thing. I've been watching United the past few weeks, and yes, the players that they have are not good enough. But Amorim's tactics and his decision making in some of these games has been highly questionable. The Kobe Mino one is like the biggest one that infuriated me, and I'm just a fan. I'm just a guy watching from the outside. You take Kobe Mino and you play him in the 10. He plays incredibly well down there. And then out of nowhere, you decide, nah, even though he did well in the number 10, I'm going to try to play him in the number 9. Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
One of the stupidest decisions that I've seen from a manager recently.
Yeah.
And also, this persistence on playing this Hoyland bum. I'm serious, bro. This guy is genuinely one of the worst strikers in the Premier League.
Yeah, of course,
I'm
he's
dead
the
serious,
worst.
guys.
He's the worst.
Like people point the finger at Xerxes, but bro, Xerxes brings so much more than just goals. His link-up play is amazing.
Yeah.
But my goodness, this Hoyland guy is like the only place he does is in the Europa League. In the league, he's absolutely useless.
Yeah.
Yeah, think about last season. Think about how long it took him to get a Premier League goal last season for United, but he was scoring in the Champions League.
Yeah, and this is the thing with Amorim. I think it's all 50-50. And the reason why I'm saying that is I know the players here aren't good enough, and I know that Amorim is a good manager. However, like you've alluded to, Omar, terrible decisions over the past few weeks. I agree with, I think it was Rance that said it. He just needs to get the best out of what he has for now. And
yeah, he
because,
does.
Because as much as him, because as much as Dorgu, and Agate are the two players in that system that are very Amorim players, because Agate's played there before. I played with Amorim before, and Dorgu is a perfect wing back that Amorim would like. The players that he's already working with, you can have a lot more better team selections. Like it was working before with Mazraoui right centre back and Amad Diallo right wing back before Diallo was getting injured, but then he decided to play him in the front three and persist with Diallo and Mazraoui as wing backs. Second of all, the persistence of, like, I know Yoro hasn't been great yet, but all these centre backs have not turned up. The persistence of playing Lisandro Martinez before he was injured, the way he's using Kobe Mainu, the loyalty towards the Portuguese players needs to be called out because it's Lampard behaviour. And the reason why I say that is because remember we used to talk about Lampard with Chelsea playing all the English lot, persistent with the likes of Mason Mount. He's doing the same thing with Bruno Fernandes and Dallo. And the reason why I say that as well, I know Bruno Fernandes did that whole gimmick thing of stink it out and then all of a sudden pull a goal from out of nowhere. He was shit in that match, like he always has been and always is. The most overrated player to ever grace the Premier League.
Mike's when he scored that free kick, I was fuming.
It was typical
because I'm like, bro, this guy, I can't.
He was sticking it out,
guy, bro.
It's like that scene in Breaking Bad. He can't keep getting away with it,
bro.
This is what pisses me up. As just a football fan, I'm like, yo, this brother, I get so much hype, and I'm watching this brother stinking it out every single week. And then he will get a goal, and then all of a sudden the blame will go to everyone else except me. I'm like, nah.
Omar, this is the problem. So players like that are going to let you down. And players like Dorgu and Agate will help you. However, if you want more players like Dorgu and Agate, you're going to need 4 to 5 years to fucking rebuild that whole squad. And you know what the problem with that is? It's not going to happen. It's not realistic. Man United are not ambitious enough to rebuild everything they need within 2 to 3 windows. So you're going to be the image of getting the best out of what you have. And if you can't get the best out of what you have, your losses will be cut early. Because before they scored those 2 goals, I was looking at that game and I'm looking at, this is the kind of game where a manager gets sacked. This is the kind of game where a manager gets sacked. Like, I was looking at that and thinking, this is done. This is done before it's even started. It's looking like Potter at Chelsea when he was hired in the middle of the season and stuff like that. And when you play a 3-at-the-back system like that, it's a specialist formation in a specialist type of way where only certain managers can play that. So when you hire it in the middle of a season with no pre-season, with a January transfer window where people make excuses like you can't get the players you want, even though Man City already proved that you can, then you're fucked. You're completely fucked. And that's the problem. There's too many players out there that will let you down. But if you can't get the best, you can't get the right combinations out of the shitload of players that you have, it's you problem. Mazraoui at right centre back and Amad Diallo at right wing back was working. On Dorgu's debut, he played him at right wing back and Dallo left wing back. It didn't make sense. Hoyland is shocking. Wouldn't get into Southampton. Wouldn't get into Ipswich. Wouldn't get into Leicester. Vardy, Cameron Archer, and Liam Delap are all better than Hoyland. They play for the 3 promoted teams. That tells you all you need to know about Rasmus Hoyland. The guy's just young for being young. He's got no potential. He's got nothing. Xerxes, as you mentioned, Xerxes brings a lot more. For some reason, he doesn't like Xerxes. I get it's not the type of player you want in terms of upfront, but for the time being, for the rest of the season, you're going to have to play him just because he is significantly better than Hoyland. As a footballer, do you know that Tottenham game when they lost? Xerxes was the only player doing doing anything. Only player doing anything where he was nutmegging players, grabbing the ball, grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck, dictating play from dropping deep and then turning around and then linking play. You need to play to Xerxes' strengths as well. Players need to run in behind to help him because that's when you get the best out of a player like that. Xerxes needs players to run in behind. And you know these centre-backs? Modern-day centre-backs can't defend in wide areas. In a three at the back, you need to defend in wide areas properly. And none of the Man United centre-backs, apart from Mazraoui, who's used to defending in those positions, can do that. So their whole squad needs to be rejuvenated and their goalkeeper as well. So you need to get the best out of what you have. As much as the players that you have that suit you are doing well, all the other players aren't yours. So regardless of what your style is, for the rest of the season, don't abandon what you know, but get the best out of what you have with the right combinations. And then in the summer, demand what you want. And if you're not going to get what you want, leave that club. Simple.
But that's simple. That's what a top manager does. But Alfie, what do you think of Amorim?
That goes back to your point, Omar, about how the hiring of Ruben Amorim at United is similar to the way that it was when Liverpool hired Klopp, in that it was going to be a shaky season, but you just got to do with what you got. Just got to deal with what you've got, and that's the difference. We're looking at Ruben Amorim, and we're saying he needs to get the most out of what he's got now. Klopp did that in his first season at Liverpool. He did that. He managed to get a Liverpool team that contained an injury-prone Daniel Sturridge, Dejan Lovren, Mamadou Sakho, players like that. They managed to get into a Europa League final and a League Cup final, and then obviously he demanded what he wanted in the summer. He brought in Mane. He brought in all the players that he wanted, and then look at what Klopp's done. But the thing is with Manchester United, we're all sat here and all the United fans are flip-flopping about whether they want Amorim in or out. If you were gonna hire Amorim, you should have done it at the start of the season. You should have sacked Ten Hag in the summer, and I know that we've spoken about this before. You should have sacked Ten Hag in the summer. There was no need to keep him on. I would have given him the FA Cup and said, "See you later," like they did with Van Gaal in 2016. But no, they decided to stick with Van Gaal, and it's come back to bite them because now they're in a situation where they're sat 16th in the league. The club is in a state of mutiny. Fans are protesting. And it looks like there's no way out.
Yep, absolutely. I know it's Prime. Prime, you still there?
Yeah.
Prime. So, do you have any quick words about United and Amorim?
Amorim's not going to be successful at Man United.
Ooh, straight to the point.
I reckon he walks at the end of the season.
I don't think he should have left Sporting anyway. For me, leaving a perfect condition to go to this version of Man United as an institution is a major red flag for me. And I rate Amorim highly. I rate him highly, but it's just weird. But I don't know. It is what it is. He'll fail. It won't necessarily all be his fault, but because it's Man United, they'll ruin his CV.
I see. But listen, I do want to quickly get into the match predictions in the week, midweek actually. No, not weekend games because I think the weekend is FA Cup, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, let's do the predictions to the Premier League games in the midweek. Actually, starting on Tuesday, Bournemouth versus Brighton. Bournemouth away at Brighton. I'm gonna start with you, Mikes. What are you saying, man?
1-1.
1-1. All right. Alfie?
Yeah, I'll probably go with the 1-1 as well, simply because obviously Bournemouth are going to be missing Sabani, so it will be interesting to see how they cope without him. So yeah, 1-1 for me.
All right. Prime?
2-1 Brighton.
2-1 Brighton. All right. Next up, Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa. Prime. Start with you, Prime.
4-0 Villa.
Ooh. Alfie?
3-1 Villa.
3-1 Villa. All right, Mikes.
2-2.
Actually, by the way, guys, I didn't actually say for my prediction of the Brighton Bournemouth game. I'm gonna go. You know what? I'll probably go 1-1 too, because it's just thinks of a draw. But Crystal Palace versus Villa, I'm gonna go 2-1 Villa. Next up, Wolves versus Fulham. Alfield, I'll start with you, man. What are you saying?
I'll go 2-0 Fulham.
2-0 Fulham. All right. Prime?
1-0 Wolves.
1-0 Wolves. All right, Mike's?
1-1.
I'm gonna say 2-1 Wolves on this one. All right, final game on Tuesday. Chelsea versus Southampton. Prime, you're hosting Southampton.
I swear.
bro. Okay. Go ahead. You're actually thinking about it.
He's contemplated it.
Is Dibbling still injured?
No, he's fit. No, Dibbling's back still.
You have so much belief in your club.
Is Dibbling back? He's back.
Dibbling's back, yeah.
Go ahead.
Dibbling.
What'd you say?
I'm saying 1-0 Southampton.
What the fuck? It's going to be like Potter.
Bro, imagine the meltdown next week. When imagine the melt, like Lewis has been melting down in the stream, bro. If you guys lose to Southampton, I think that would be the moment he will actually crack straight up.
CB and Jimmy are going to get the channel cancelled.
Yeah, bro, Jimmy. Bro, Jimmy has already been, because that guy snaps at everything. Imagine you guys lose to Southampton. This Southampton team. Mike's Chelsea versus Southampton.
3-0 Chelsea.
3-0 Chelsea. Go ahead, Alfie.
Yeah, despite the obvious problems that Chelsea have got at the moment, I can't see a situation where Southampton get a result out of this game. So I'll say 2-0 Chelsea.
2-0 Chelsea. I'm gonna go 4-0 Chelsea. I think this is gonna be a statement victory for them. Wednesday.
Are any of you willing to do a forfeit?
No.
Bro, just get out of here, man. This
None of you believe.
You're supposed to be a Chelsea fan, and you're sitting here the only one without any belief. Against Southampton, bro. Listen, I would hear an upset in any other game apart from this one, bro.
That's why I said to you, Omar, you don't watch my club. I actually watch my club.
But this is the thing, bro. No matter how bad your club has been, this is not like United, bro. It's not like I don't watch any Chelsea games. I'm not saying you guys are great. But this Southampton team, bro, are that bad. But listen, we're not
Omar, next game. Omar, again, you don't watch my club. I said this about.
All right, fine, whatever, man, no problem.
These two always argue on predictions.
Okay, listen. Wednesday, next True Ballers FC shows for Wednesday. We'll be here. Okay, after the game. That will be the day after the game. So, we'll see, man. But Wednesday, on Wednesday we have firstly, Brentford host Everton. I'll start with you, Mikes.
Oh, fucking hell. Who's at home?
Brentford at home against Everton.
2-1 Brentford.
Avi?
2-0 Brentford.
Prime.
Brentford at home again too.
Against Everton.
One 0 Everton.
1-0 Everton.
My manager.
Right,
my manager.
Nah, no problem. I'm gonna go 2-1 Brentford. All right. Manchester United versus Ipswich. Alfie, I'll start with you.
1-0 Ipswich.
All right, Mike's.
Fucking hell, this could go anywhere.
Imagine. I think Amorim might be sacked if he actually loses to these guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 2-1 Man United.
2-1 Manchester United. All right. Go ahead. Prime. Manchester United versus Ipswich.
Where is it being played?
It's been
Old
Old
Trafford.
Trafford.
Old Trafford.
Yeah.
4-2 Man United.
4-2 Man United. All right. I'm gonna go 3-1 Man United. Next up, Nottingham Forest versus Arsenal. Alfield, you're hosting Nottingham Forest. Scoreline.
3-0 Forest.
Prime.
Come on, Alfie. Have some shame, man. Stay humble, man.
He's staying humble.
It's back. Where's the game?
Nottingham
City
Forest.
ground.
City ground.
Oh, away from home. Ooh. 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal. All right.
Are you
Mike,
willing to do a forfeit Prime?
this guy, bro, asking everyone to do forfeits. Is he gonna do
Oh,
forfeit?
sure.
this guy?
If you don't beat Forest, then hey, I'll apologize to you, Alfie. That's what it is.
Yeah, he will. Okay.
Fair enough.
Go ahead.
2-2.
You know what? Because I think what are you gonna do it here on True Ballers FC? You apologize. That's how it's. You remember how I started the show and I had to apologize to Prime that day, and I had like the whole screen to myself. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do to Prime that day. If
No, it's up to Alfie. It's up to Alfie. I said I'll apologize.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I had to
Yeah, but
apologize to you,
Alfie,
and you put me on. You put me on. No. Because remember when I apologized to you, you put me on full screen. I didn't put you on full screen. I didn't ask for you to be put on full screen. You decided to do that.
Okay, cool.
But-
That's your
Okay,
problem. I'll
Mike,
apologize to
hold
Alfie.
on.
So next time I'm stream Alfie, I'll apologize to him.
Whatever. Anyway, Mike, talk
2-2.
to me about it. 2-2.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. You know what? I don't care. I'm gonna go 2-0 Nottingham Forest. Bro, I'm being dead serious. I think that when it comes to this, I don't know, man. I just don't know. I feel like from what I saw today with Forest, I know they had a poor start to the game, right? Against Newcastle. But listen, they tried to bring it back and they were very close. So look,
Yeah, that game
I
finished
think they can
4-3,
still
didn't
score,
it?
they can still
Yeah,
score
4-3,
goals,
yeah.
and I think they're still scoring goals. Chris Wood is still scoring goals, and also,
Oh,
like let's be honest, Arsenal attacking wise, bro, who is gonna score their goals against?
we're going to get dunked on, Omar. I'm telling you now. That's why I
That's what I'm
said
saying. I'm
3-0
gonna
Forest.
go
We're getting
2-0
dunked on.
Nottingham Forest. I'm gonna go 2-0 Everton. Anyway, Nottingham Forest. Next up we got Tottenham versus
Relax, man.
Manchester City. Prime. Go ahead, man. Tottenham versus Manchester City. Tottenham host Manchester City.
Oh, Tottenham v City. That's this weekend or midweek.
Yeah. No. That's a Wednesday.
Tottenham v City. Tottenham v City.
You know what's crazy? Both of these teams are so bad right now. Any result could either
Typically,
could go either way.
Spurs win.
That's what's crazy.
It'd be typical
I know,
Spurs not
typical
to win.
Spurs, but I mean Spurs, they kind of have their players back, so who knows, man?
And they've got a decent record against City at home as well.
It'd be typical Spursy.
Mm.
And I making.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to say. That I'm going
Probably
3-1 City.
3-1 City. Okay. Mike's Spurs versus Manchester City.
3-0 Tottenham.
I mean, that's the crazy thing, but that's not even unrealistic.
I gave my prediction.
That is a very realistic, bro. The way City are defending, bro. Oh my goodness, Alfie, talk to me, man.
I would say 2-1 Spurs, but to be perfectly honest with you, Omar, I think it could be 2-1 either way because of the way, because of how inconsistent both teams are. Yeah,
That's the crazy thing. City can just decide to wake up today, just like they did last week against Newcastle. You understand what I'm saying? So,
Bro, I don't.
so
we're talking about Spurs Spurs' high line against Omar Marmoush.
That's my
bro.
point, and that's what I'm saying. But you know what? I'm gonna go 2-2. I feel like, bro, both defenses are just gonna be terrible in the game, and it's just it could be a 2-2. Don't be surprised if it ends 3-3, bro. We could just see some crazy scoreline in that game, bro. Both defenses just decided to go to sleep on the game. But final game of the on Wednesday is Liverpool versus Newcastle. Jeez, got to be Mikez. That's. I mean,
we literally saw Newcastle, you know.
yeah, they won against Nottingham Forest, but defensively, you're right.
We just saw them lose at the Etihad. They only turned up when they need to. They still conceded 3 goals against Forest.
Yeah,
they ain't turning up. 2-0 Liverpool.
2-0 Liverpool. All right, Prime. Prime.
What's the game?
No, the Liverpool Newcastle, bro. This guy, his mind is elsewhere.
No, I think he's lagging.
I said, what is the game?
He's lagging.
Liverpool, the game starts here 6. Yeah, actually 6. Is it 7:15 in your time?
No.
You have a scoreline.
Liverpool, Newcastle.
Yes.
Hello?
Bro,
Prem's lagging. Lagging.
So just quickly. No, we can hear you now. Go ahead. Quickly.
He wouldn't have heard until 20 seconds later.
Okay, anyway, you tell me, man. You tell me. What's your prediction?
Is it at Anfield?
Anfield, yes.
3-0 Liverpool then.
I'm gonna go 3-1 Liverpool.
It's very, very rare. It's very rare that Liverpool slip up at Anfield. It's very, very rare.
Newcastle's record against Liverpool was terrible.
Exactly. So defensively, I don't see them holding Liverpool back. So Liverpool will get goals, and yeah, they're gonna lose the game.
I think if Liverpool play Van Dijk and Konate as their centre back partnership, they'll keep Isak quiet. I feel like they're the only centre back pairing that can seem to keep Isak quiet, but I just don't see Newcastle laying a finger on Liverpool, to be honest.
Yeah, and who knows if my prediction is accurate and you guys lose to Nottingham Forest, that's what 14 points clear. Oh my goodness gracious me. Yeah, man, just opening the gap. But listen, save the best for last, man. Final game of the midweek on Thursday: West Ham versus Leicester City. Mikez.
Oh God!
Don't let me down, Mike.
I never predict a win. Why am I doing this to myself?
Nah, come on, you got it, bro. Leicester, bro. Leicester lost 4-0 at home to Brentford.
I know, but
I know you guys lost at home to Brentford too, but bro, they lost 4-0.
I know, but we're West Ham, so it's very
typical. Yeah, I know, but come on,
Arsenal,
man.
So then
this is great. This is Graham Potter's. This is Graham Potter's. West Ham. Remember that?
Yeah, you're not got Lopetegui anymore, man. You're fine.
No, but it ain't. Oh my God!
You're suffering from Lopetegui PTSD, man.
No, it's not that. It's probably we're in the middle of the fucking season. We're still so early into Grim, but it's not like Graham Potter's rejuvenated West Ham. Yeah, we beat Arsenal, yeah, but we're not gonna beat everyone. Okay. 1-1. 1-1.
Oh my days, man!
Brother. Well, if we draw to Leicester, do not be surprised, and do not don't be surprised.
I'll keep my eye on that game for sure, man. To be fair, when we do True Ballers, you guys would not have played yet, so crazy. Yeah. But Alfield, West Ham versus Leicester.
2-1 West Ham.
2-1 West Ham. Prime.
Yes.
West Ham versus Leicester. I think he's getting infuriated with his terrible internet.
No, I'm just tired, bro.
Now I hear you, man. I'm tired too. West Ham versus Leicester.
I know what you said.
Go ahead. You put a lot of thought in this Prime Max. He doesn't want to be wrong.
Prime's gone into don't talk to me till I've had my coffee mode, like big time.
Yeah, I mean, we don't all predict Spurs versus Chelsea to be a draw like Omar. 3-0 West Ham.
Oh,
I was actually going to do it for that prediction too. Funny enough, I think that you know what, Mike. I feel like this is going to be the game where you're going to like. If you think the Arsenal win was great, you're gonna see a beautiful day, man. You know what? I'm gonna go for bigger. I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go. Your biggest win of the season. I'm gonna go West Ham 4, Leicester 0 at the West Ham Stadium. No, trust me. It's gonna be a beautiful day. It's gonna be a beautiful day. The goals are just gonna be going in. I'm telling you.
I reckon the win against us is definitely going to be the turning point for West Ham season.
It will be, but I feel like because you know what it is. As much as yes, I know the win against Arsenal was great. All right, I feel like you guys have been like you haven't really had that game this season, Mikes, where you really like been so comfortable, like so much better than your opponents, and just give them the beatdown that they deserve. You feel me? Right? You haven't had that game yet, and I feel like So I feel like this is the one. This is the one where you're gonna finally get like that one game of the season. Maybe it might be the only game of the season, but it's that one game where you got your West Ham will turn up. You feel me?
You guys don't know. I hope so. But you guys don't know West Ham like I do, bro. And I know what West Ham are like.
I hear you, man. But I'm speaking from the outside. So I'm gonna go West Ham 4, Leicester 0. Honestly, man, because Leicester are dead out here under Van Nistelrooy. I mean, hopefully they don't sack. Hopefully they don't sack him by the time this prediction goes around, because tomorrow is Monday, and usually money just gets sacked on Monday for some reason. But yeah, man. Listen, big up to every one of you guys watching, man. Another episode of True Ballers FC wrapped up, guys. What a 10 out of 10 show, guys. Big up to my panelists. Big up to Mikes. Big up to Prime. Big up to Alfield. Listen, man, Alfield, man, it's over now, man. Now you can finally rest because you've had a long.
I can smile again.
Yeah, man.
But I've still got to go. I've still got to do the GVO show tomorrow with Mike's and still talk about it. So it's not even over for me yet. I can rest for a bit now.
Yesterday, I thought the Mike's and Alfie show was yesterday.
No, but that's because we did. That's because we played. It was just a bonus show.
Yeah, every time West Ham play Arsenal, there's always a bonus show between me and Max. But
damn, Mike's
I've got to deal with it again tomorrow.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Pray for me.
Yeah, I will. I will. I know. I mean, I know Prime will definitely not be praying for you. It won't surprise me. Listen, I'll be watching the office show. It won't surprise me if this fraud decides to turn up and decide to add into the,
Prime's praying on my downfall right now.
Yeah, we know, man. Anytime it's time to smoke on the Arsenal pack, he will be there to smoke it alongside Mike's. We know that. But
but at this point, Prime, you're hogging it. You're hogging the Arsenal pack.
Anyways, big ups to you guys, man. Appreciate every one of you guys watching. This show will be redirecting you guys to Sarcasm City TV. I think Flawless is still live. Is it still live, Prime? Is Flawless still live? Let me see.
I don't know.
Give me a second. If he's still live, how would he direct to him? Because he's doing the Beige and Red show with
Bro, I'm so tired.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So big up to everyone who's watching, guys. We're gonna redirect to Sarcasm City TV, Flawless, and the Beige family over there, Pops and all of them, man. Make sure you guys go out there, put Omar BYT Raid in the channel, guys. Put it in the comment section, Omar BYT Raid. Make sure you guys go subscribe to all of the guys' channels here. Channel is in the description, guys. All of their channel names, the channel links are in the description. Make sure you guys go out there and send them some love, man. Listen, Mike's is trying to get to 1,000, guys. He's already reached 800 recently, guys. Right? Come on, guys. 200 subscribers, man. 200 subscribers away. Come on. Let's make sure, right? He reaches. Well, let's make sure by the end of March we're out here doing the 1K party. Okay. Come on,
Fucking
guys.
hell.
Let's get it done. Listen, it's crazy because my channel, I'm like 120 subscribers away from hitting 3K myself. So
That's
yeah,
sick.
man. Listen, man. By the time you reach a 1K, I could be reaching 3K. So we could literally do a duo party, man. Who knows, man? Make sure you guys also subscribe to Alfie's channel, man. He's been consistently putting out a lot of videos on his channel. Make sure you guys go out there and send him some love as
Trying
well,
to hit
man.
500 subs as well by the end of the year. So if we can
Yeah,
do that,
man.
that'd
Come
be
on, man.
amazing.
Come on, man. We'll see. We'll see it, man. Make sure you guys go
All about
subscribe. And make sure you
progress.
guys
Well,
look
I'll
to body.
see hit
Make sure you guys
500
subscribe
subs
to
before Arsenal win a trophy. Great.
Good Lord, Iman. Hey, listen, man. It won't be a surprise, but listen, guys. Big up to every one of you guys watching. This video will redirect you guys to Sarcasm City TV. Put Omar BYT rate in the comment section. Big ups to every single one of you guys watching, guys. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to all of these guys' channels, and peace, you guys. Take care. Okay. I don't know. Is it still live? There's something wrong with this app, bro.
Not
Yeah.
again.
Hold on.
Oh, God.
And
Right,
Party
man.
has a weird case. Why is he around? Still the vibe, Liverpool.